All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. Welcome back to the Unpopular Black Gamer, where we are rewatching Star Trek, the original series, going through it now as an adult, where we were just little tykes when we actually watched the show with our parents. So uh, now we're on episode 5, entitled The Naked Time.
Yes.
I thought it was the Naked Now. No,
No.
that's the next generation that actually titles it the correct way.
Well, you got a problem with this title?
Yes, I do. As always, I am reviewing this with my boy Patrick, except this time he is in person with me. Say hello, Patrick.
It is Christmas time. I am in my hometown, so I am back. I am live. It's always cool to see the setup from the other side as opposed to just my end. And if anyone joins, if they could just throw in the chat what happened to Lamar Jackson, because we missed it.
Because yeah, we missed that as we were like getting prepared for this this series. So yeah, I mean, we all know what happened to the Bucks. You know, they suck. Uh, the Titans look like way
Tighten up.
better. They're trending in the
We
right
got a
and proper
quarterback.
direction. You know, the way that you should be trending at the end of the season. You know, you always want to see a trendward upward
And
at
it's
at the end of the season. Yeah,
and it's weird. We're gonna play the Saints, who are also on an upward trend right now, and so I'm like, huh, what happens when a unstoppable force meets an immovable
they
object? No,
are
I'm
in
just
an upward trend with Tyler Shook.
I know, right?
Like,
Who I don't really know who that is. I'm just kind of like,
he
what
was
school did he
drafted
go to?
this past year.
Yeah, I know he's a rookie. I just don't.
I don't know where he came from.
Yeah,
I truly don't know him either. So
I'll find out next week.
part was like Tulane's quarterback last year or something like that.
Nah,
I
whatever.
will die laughing if that was correct.
Yeah, since we had a mystery viewer, if you know, drop it in the chat. Although, are either of us monitoring anything?
uh, yeah, I always monitor
Hey, okay.
if anybody joins or anything. So all right. I think we might be at the time where Star Trek, the original series, is catching its stride. This is where it's starting to understand like what we are. We're past the whole if we're going to make this into a series or not.
Finally,
We're signed up for however long. We
we're
didn't
only
look up.
5 episodes in, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I think we're finally a show.
at least for this season, like they're
Yeah.
all they have a show.
Hmm.
Like we don't know if the second season will happen or third season, but at least for this season we have a show. All right, so uh, there was a lot about this episode that I love, and keep in mind, people, that uh, the Next Generation did a rendition of this particular episode as well, and it was their next episode after the encounter at Farpoint. So canonically, episode 3, because Encounter at
Yeah.
Farpoint was a two-parter, episode 1 and
Yeah,
episode
it's like
2.
the third episode to air, but kind of like the second episode, really. Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so we are going to point out some parallels between the two. There's granted there's not a granted a lot of them, but I do I do like two things rewatching this.
Okay.
One, that I've watched the TNG version of this episode,
Yep.
and then two, the fact that we have the Strange New Worlds background of a lot of these characters, and like I don't remember how I felt watching this because it was so long ago, but
Yeah.
if I remembered, I'm pretty sure it was one of those things where it certain situations within this episode you were kind of like a little confused,
Yeah.
but as a Trekkie, as a person that like actually understands like how Spock is, how Kirk is, there's Chapel, like all the characters just in this and how they react in this episode, I I found myself just like it's this episode was better because I knew all this back.
Yeah, and this is kind of the first episode, like you mentioned, that it kind of slows down, gives its plot a chance to like be a plot.
The pacing was awesome in this episode.
Yeah. And it's weird that like the episode where everybody gets drunk
Hmm.
is somehow more organized and logical than most of the stuff we've watched before. Like 3 out of the 4 episodes we watched before this, like made.
Gene Roddenberry was like, if there's any episode I'm gonna get right, it's this episode,
Yeah,
right?
it's just like because especially coming off of what did we watch last week?
um, the
Where No Man Goes
Yeah,
Before
where
the
no man
second
goes before.
pilot.
Yeah.
Especially given how batty that was, I was like, okay, an episode where everybody gets drunk,
Hmm.
this is just gonna get wildly out of hand. And oddly enough, I'm like, oh no,
It
it's
just got
actually
Star Trek out of hand.
yeah, it was just Star Trek, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not what I expected coming into this. And like you said, it's been eons since I really watched it, and probably when I watched it like a kid, like you said, I was just confused by
Hmm.
what was going on. But yeah, kudos to them. It's I'm looking forward to where our conversation goes.
Yeah, we actually went to this particular episode a lot better than we have the last few ones. Granted, like the cage, the very first, the actual pilot, that was one of my, I mean, to me, one of my favorites. Granted, I don't think I gave it higher than a either Synthahol Required
You
or
gave
Chateau
it
Picard.
you gave it no, I gave it a need sent to hall, and I can't entirely remember why I gave it that.
Uh huh.
I'm not sure. I don't remember what you gave it.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, but this was this is a good one. So let's get into it. Patrick, I take it you have the run of the
Yeah,
show of
I
what
got started
happened in
here.
this episode.
Patriots are set to kick. Field goals up and oh no wait,
Oh,
that's
wrong.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm looking at the wrong part of my
yeah,
screen.
yeah. You're NFL. We're in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, having both up on the screen at the same time, it's gonna get confusing.
Do I need to get you to turn off
Oh, absolutely not. That's the only time I'm gonna do that joke.
the
You you have work in the morning, and and I need to get you along before you're. And also, just a little behind the scenes, folks. We hung out last night too, so like, this,
Oh yeah, it's been a weekend.
uh, wow. I was about to make some joke about. No, I'm not gonna even say what the joke was for. But it had something to do with the title of it, but that was gonna give the wrong impression of what we're
I'm
doing
scared
here.
to even ask you. So let's just move on.
It starts off with the Enterprise entering orbit around a planet called Psi 2000.
So interesting enough, I actually said this while we were watching the episode. Psy 2000, awesome rap name, by the way. I'm looking at it from like an Andre 3000 type thing, but also at the same time, Patrick pointed out that what the guy that
Gangnam Style.
Gundam
Yeah,
style that does Gundam style's
I
name
think his name is
Psy.
Psy.
It's
Yeah.
like, damn it.
And so they're there to watch the planet decay. More importantly, they're going to get a science party that's on the
Hmm.
surface of the planet out of there so the planet can go ahead and decay and they can monitor it from the Enterprise. Spock and some random officer beams down, and in my parentheses, I have good luck, buddy.
Hilarious. We both thought that he was going to get offed.
Like immediately. I didn't know how, but I was just like, this is not going well for any rando so far in these episodes. And they're in hazmat suits, and someone's frozen in there, and there's blood on the wall. So something strange has happened. Uh, a point you made while we were watching it that I'll make for you now because I'm not sure if you have it in your notes. Those hazmat suits would not have done anything.
Oh, them hazmat suits were awful.
Yeah.
All right. They did not look like they were hermetically sealed.
Yeah.
It looks like anything can get into that suit and
Yeah.
infect them. Like I did not feel like they were protected
No.
going
Not
into
at
the
all.
situation. But 1960s costumes, like that was the whole point of this. It's a hermetically sealed thing, even though we're gonna realize that what Lieutenant Junior Grade
Yeah.
F up.
His
I don't
his
care
first
what
name is Joey.
I don't care what his name is. F up. Continue Junior Grade F up. Um, is going to do what with his freaking gloves?
Well, I'll get to it in a second. So Spock discovers a frozen woman who has been. I don't think I can say this word on the internet. We'll just say unalive. He also like
Yes.
has this weird like gun shaped scanner thingy that he's using this time for whatever reason. Um,
Oh, I think it's a rendition of the gun that he had in the previous episode, and and a scanner. He's like, you can't be too careful.
he can't be.
You can't. Yeah,
It's actually not a scanner. It's just he's just ready to cap someone if needed.
gotta be ready to cap somebody at a moment's
Durag
notice.
Spock
Yes.
is fully active.
Yes.
Um, so Lieutenant Junior Grade Joey, whatever, he's gone off screen. He talks about finding a man that was taking a shower fully clothed, which
Mm,
is referenced in the Naked Now, the TNG episode.
yes.
So Joey, he takes his glove off for some reason, while he's scanning the area around the first
Oh,
person we see.
I do want to point out something. I'm sorry for this whole scene and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When they beamed down and they looked at the women, that was not like a special effects human cadaver. It was straight a mannequin that they
It was
pulled off from like J.C. Penney stores. Oh, it's just like
yeah.
bam.
If either of us had been there, I'd be like, Spock, what's wrong with you? This is a mannequin.
This is a mannequin.
Like I
This
don't
is
know
not a
why it's
real
here, but
person.
that's not a person.
They were having fun with mannequins, apparently.
Uh,
Like,
like it's weird. It's weird that this is here, and it's weird that it. Well, I can't use the word that how she became
it's
unalive,
supposed to
but
be unalived.
yeah. So yeah, he to your point about him being Lieutenant Junior grade F up,
Hmm.
he takes off his glove for no reason, rubs his nose immediately. So anyone who's lived during a pandemic, it's like, okay, well, that's
And I had to reference, I have to reference this when we were watching it. Okay, at this point, still, there's no mention of Starfleet. There's no mention of the Federation.
right.
There is no establishment of this entity so far. Still,
Yeah,
the fact that they beamed down with hazmat suits lets me further though there is some like standard guidelines of what to do in this situation,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure one of those is to not take off your freaking gloves
and
while
then
you're in the area that could possibly give you contaminated.
and then immediately rub your face with your
Yes,
hand.
yes,
Yeah, but it gets weirder than that because he basically puts his bare hand on near the wall that has the blood on it, and for whatever reason, I don't know if they were like trying to explain to us conceptually what was happening, but it looks like the blood leaps up off the wall onto him.
I thought it was Venom.
Yeah,
I thought this was a Spider-Man symbiote.
yeah.
Like
It looked like a symbiote. Um,
the way that it came off with the like the blood and like looking like
yeah,
it's like coming towards him, which in now that I'm thinking about it, as far as practically in the 1960s, being able to film that
yeah,
occurring, actually pretty cool.
yeah. Except that it's not
True.
how it transmits later in the episode. So
I don't think they fully truly establish how
yeah,
it can be transmitted.
because we never see it again.
Yes.
Like I think there's a possibility where they either haven't thought it all the way through, or maybe a combination of two, or they didn't trust the audience.
To not understand.
Yeah, like to not get that, like, hey,
Yeah.
taking your glove off in this
I,
situation is a bad idea. So they had to do something
yeah.
more direct, and they're like, well, what could be more direct? Okay, well, let's, even though we've already shot it, let's animate it so that some of the blood gets on it.
Looking at it from a 1960s standpoint
Yeah,
and how okay, like you're filming something that's something new.
yeah,
This isn't something like, oh yeah, Star Trek's been a thing, so you kind of like understand like what can happen within the world. They're establishing like brand new world, trying to establish like everything. So they had to visualize. They had to actually like show
yeah.
him getting infected.
Also, is there? It just occurred to me. Also, is there a possibility that the actor, was supposed to actually put his hand on the blood stain unknowingly and missed, and then they had to like try to figure out how to fix it?
I don't think so.
Well,
I
because
don't,
the
'cause
only
the only thing that makes me say that is I know from production standpoints, if they don't do like, okay, your hand needs to end up at this mark
yeah
by this frame, what and I know if they don't do that correctly, then they just stop it. And it's like, okay, we're gonna redo that scene.
yeah they would have to like miss it somehow,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they would have missed it, but
Now to your point, it could have been one of those situations where they had both. They either
yeah.
had him missing the mark, hitting the mark, and then in post when they're like putting everything together, it's like, yeah, I don't understand. I don't know if the audience would be able to grasp on
Yeah,
that. Like he's been infected by something, so I think we need to put something in. So that showing of the blood, like moving up and hitting the lieutenant, that could have been something that they came up with later.
I mean, it makes the most sense. I'm sure there's probably like some Star Trek book or something, or maybe In Memory Alpha says what it is, but
Hmm.
we're not gonna look it up.
Not today, no.
Yeah, and hey, maybe not even ever.
Dang,
Uh,
give them some hope, Patrick.
no. So he puts his glove back on. Spock comes in from the other room. He doesn't see that dude has totally broken protocol. And he basically is like, okay, we both haven't been exposed to anything. I think we're ready to go. And states that whatever's happened here is nothing that the Enterprise has dealt with before.
Yeah,
Roll
he
credits.
he says that specific. It's nothing that we've dealt with before.
Yeah. And, yeah. Space, the final frontier.
That good 1960s like hook you in to get you through the title screen of the commercials.
Exactly. Kirk is on the bridge, so we're proceeding with the mission. Spock and Joey, I'll refer to him as, since in my just behind the scenes, so you know,
Hmm.
I haven't written my notes as the rando for a while, and now that I know his name, I'm just gonna have to stumble over it a
No,
bit.
the rando.
Yeah. And by the way, when he gets beamed back up, Joey wants to walk immediately off the transporter, and Spock
And
stops him.
Spock immediately stops him.
And I'm just kind of like, this dude's supposed to be a scientist. Like, does he not?
So the I think one of the things they're trying to convey with this is like how quickly the disease like
That's a good
hits
point.
hits them. You, I think this is one of those situations where, okay, he himself made the lapse of taking off his glove,
Yeah,
gets infected, boom. At that point, it's coursing through his body, it's hitting him, da da da. By the time he's beamed back over, because he had to put back on the glove. Spock came in, was like, "Hey, da da da, we've done all our investigation over here."
yeah, that's a good point. And the next time we see him, he is already like starting to melt
Oh
down
yeah,
pretty badly.
yes.
Yeah. So Scotty who beamed him in because he has nothing else to do right now. Beams them in and
Once
starts
again,
to,
controlling the transporter.
yep, and decontaminates them.
Hmm.
And they have to go to sick bay. Well, they don't call it sick bay. They call it everything but sick bay. The lab, medical, like whatever.
Yeah,
They don't call it
I
sick bay.
think it's just medical that they refer to it. One thing I will say that's interesting.
But sick bay is an actual term, right? Like that's been around for quite a while.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
I will definitely get to that later
Hmm.
because I have like certain thoughts in parallel to this and the TNG version.
Okay.
So, but one thing I will point out from this scene is that so in TNG when they're beamed aboard, there is an automatic decontamination
Oh yeah, there is.
sequence within the. So it's like that's why they need to know your transporter pattern. So it's pretty much like taking your pattern that we had before, putting it with this pattern. What's different? Oh, that's the contaminants. Like filter those out. Da da da. Boom, you rematerialize. We're good. All right, get on. You can go to
Yeah.
your station. With this one, it was like they're beamed aboard, and then there's a contamination process. No force field or anything in a way. I guess I would imagine that a force field would be there. What not? But Spock had to stop him.
Yeah, so they could do the decontamination
Yeah,
protocol. So how do you don't contaminate Scotty if there's not a force field? So I guess you have to,
yeah.
like you said, assume there is one.
So
So you basically stopped them from walking into a force field that they didn't explain.
possible,
Yeah.
possible. I'm just looking. I just thought it was interesting how they did and this made me think about Star Trek Enterprise and how like they did
Oh,
that
the decon.
decontamination because there it wasn't a teleportation. It was like fly up. Granted, I truly think that those scenes were used to um,
Hmm.
show different sides of the
Hmm.
crew
There were a
in
couple of crew members
in more of
on
a
that show that ended up in the decon chamber more often
more often
than
than others. Yes,
others.
I think this
A
is a
certain incident, a certain sub commander
whew,
ended
uh,
up in there quite a bit.
uh, and the fact that they were models, like
Classics early 2000s television.
the
Like,
creators of Star Trek knew what the hell they were doing.
oh god.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, if we're gonna keep it a buck, like sex sells.
Right.
So
Especially on UPN where the show
the
aired.
more that they can put in to like skirt past like any
Hmm.
thing to make it like TV 14 or TVMA or
Right.
anything like that, like they're gonna like skirt that line just enough to like reel the audience in.
Yeah.
Um, but so there are a lot of number like I thought it was interesting. So the decontamination in Enterprise, then showing it like in TOS, and then to TNG. It's like a nice little arc there. Granted, Discovery kind of like blows this up a bit
Hmm.
if we're looking at it because Discovery goes on the TNG side of decontamination. Granted,
No, wait,
like
wait, wait.
I don't think
Discovery's after Enterprise by quite a bit. Like it's it's like in an era that's like right before the TOS era.
I think we need to like get timelines. I don't think it's like that close. It is close, but not that close as you say. Like,
Pike is captain of the Enterprise
uh-huh.
during Discovery.
Yes.
And Pike's the captain right before Kirk.
Yes.
So like it's in the era right before, not even the era right before TOS. It's like
Right
maybe 8 or 9
before
years before TOS.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much how it is. So,
Hmm.
but they're going on TNG style okay, I don't think that's fair. Now I'm thinking about it because I don't think they actually had an episode that showed like them needing to be decontaminated.
Yeah, I can't think of one either.
Yeah, I don't think they showed something like that in the Discovery
Yeah.
series.
I mean, we'll know for sure like 5 years from now when we're watching it.
Eight, eight
Eight
years from
years from
now
now, yeah, when we're
when
watching
we're
it
doing the
in the
rewatch. Yeah,
rewatch series.
yeah, uh huh.
Because God, we're not even going like straight through. Like we're gonna stop and do strange treks and video game replays and stuff. So God knows how long when we get to it, and maybe we get tired of
that's the
Voyager and skip over it and
that's the
just
whole point
go
of
to
doing this. Like, you gotta set up a content type schedule. So like,
pretty
you
much.
can't run out of content within the first year of it.
Of
And like,
course.
what's the point of even doing the channel?
I mean, we got more strange treks than probably anything. Well, not anything else because there's hundreds of episodes of
Oh,
Star Trek.
one definitely way more episodes than there are what we thought of ideas on Stray Sharks.
Right. Um, so they go to medical or sick bay, as I will call it.
Hmm.
Bones clears them both, and lo and behold, Nurse Christine Chapel makes her first appearance
I thought that was
on TOS.
I thought that was awesome. And like the funny thing is like Patrick had to check me a bit on this one because I'm just like, man, she looks old, but like I have to realize 1960s, 1960 hairstyles,
Yeah,
uh, 1960 clothing, like all this stuff looks different from my standpoint as an 80s baby.
yeah,
So like it's finding like going back like 20 years from the time that I was actually like living and understanding what the world is. Yeah, people that were in their 20s, possibly 30s, to me look like they're probably in their 50s, 60s.
right, exactly. So
but Just like if kids nowadays looked at us back in the 90s, they'll probably be like, "Man, what year is this? The 1940s?"
Right, exactly. So Nurse Chapel, and Spock used to have a thing that's going to come up later.
Yes.
Um, and the way I wrote this, the rando is kind of freaking out. Joey is freaking out.
Oh, he's freaking the freak out.
Yeah, he's starting to tweak pretty badly from whatever this virus is doing to him. Um, there's a staff meeting.
Oh, I do want to point out,
Ooh, I wonder how that sounded on the
and
internet.
sorry for I
You
hit the
straight
mic
up hit the
right there.
mic.
That was my bad. Um, I mean, I'll scratch that in post.
There you go.
But
But if that one other person from the sound check showed up, sorry.
I do want to point out that Kirk shows that he's a competent captain within the situation because as soon as they beam back aboard, he says like, no decontaminants have
Hmm.
been found. Da da da. He instantly says, no, send them to medical to do a full checkup,
Yeah.
just in case. Like that's showing like I don't want this shit on my on board my ship.
Hmm.
Like let's see if we can cut this off at the pass.
Which is which is
Hmm.
interesting. It's a really good precaution, but I'm
Hmm.
also not sure how they knew they were going into a situation because we watched like the first 5 minutes of the TNG episode, and they just kind of like beamed over like in regular uniform. So I do wonder what like tipped them off that something's not right uh, from a disease virology perspective to come in hazmat and think and
Yeah, there was no intro that talked about like how they stumbled upon this, what they
yeah,
were supposed to do, da da da, and didn't know like there was any communication beforehand
right.
with this.
And made it very clear that they can't
Yeah,
figure out what's going on. Otherwise, this episode would have taken like 10 minutes.
maybe maybe it's just one of those situations where it's standard protocol
Yeah,
to like beam down. All right, limited amount of people. Standard protocol hazmat suits going down in a situation like this. We don't know what could be down there. Da da
yeah,
da. But well, yeah, yeah. Knowing Star Trek the way that we do, it does seem weird to not know all of this and they beam down
that's where they
directly into
start.
hazmat
Yeah,
suits.
but I don't know. I'm not gonna fault it that hard for doing
And
that.
granted, I think that's more of a visual thing for the audience to show, like, yeah, they are in a tense situation. Apparently, they have these suits on for a reason.
Yeah,
So
they just forgot
break
to
it
write
down.
the line that just explains
Yes.
whatever. But Kirk responding to the fact that they felt the need to do that. There are 6 people who are
Yes.
unalived on the planet, and he's like,
Hmm.
"Let's double check this." Is good. Let's see. Oh, it skipped ahead in my notes for some reason. Do do do. Where was I at? It skipped all the way to the end.
Oh, they did also point out within these scenes that Scotty is the engineer.
He is
Like,
undoubtedly the chief engineer
yeah,
in this episode.
they pointed that out strongly within this episode.
Yep. Um, so they're trying to figure out if what happened on the planet could happen to them.
So they
They
do.
don't know. Kirk gets a little frustrated.
Is this
Uh,
in the briefing where they're
yeah. Hmm.
yeah. And I found this situation interesting because it's the first time that they well no it's not the first time the main pilot showed a briefing but that pilot didn't air
Yeah.
so
There was a briefing in Where No Man Goes before.
but they never really truly explained like the purpose and everything.
Yeah, they were just like they just had to have a meeting at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So Kirk actually takes the time to explain why we have these staff meetings.
Yeah.
Like you all have different expertise that I don't have, and you need to bring your level of experience to this particular situation to give me options.
Right. Yep. And that's what they're doing. And Spock also talks. I think it was Spock that talked about the mission. They need to be in close orbit of the planet to get the final readings.
Hmm.
They don't ever really explain why it's like totally important, but Star Trek and exploration, so
Yeah,
let's do it. This is what the Enterprise is here for to do important experiments from time to time, and it's going to be tricky. Um, there's also a line in here where Scotty's like, he says something like, "Whatever you guys need, my engines are going to be ready to go."
yeah.
Whatever, and I just noted to myself, it's amazing the Scotty we see in Strange New
That
Worlds
is
versus here. I'm like
yes,
the Pelia
yes.
influence is is there. I'm like,
By
Kirk.
this time, we get like true. I know what the f I'm doing, Scotty.
Yeah, and I know how to handle a captain like Pelia. Chef's kiss. I don't know how. I don't know what her send off is going to be in season 5, but if they hurt her,
I hope not.
I'm going to. I'm going to lose it.
Cry like Hammer.
Uh,
Hammer was one of my favorite Star Trek characters.
I mean, you can argue. I mean, and Deep Space Nine very much argues that the best thing about Starfleet is its engineers. So,
Mm.
and some people say it's their captains, but I don't know. I say that as the person who doesn't do engineering or STEM or anything like that, and would just default to the command.
Dude, that's funny. I would have probably been in engineering and ended up going into command.
Yeah, no.
I would have did the Jordan LaForge route.
There you go. Uhura calls in and gives some readings that indicates that the decay is beginning.
And I was freaking excited about that. Like, I yelled, Uhura!
Even though she's been in episodes,
She has been in
we've
episodes.
seen Uhura.
But I didn't see her in the last one, so it's like it feels weird to not see a main character in
Mm-hmm.
an episode, and then you see them in the next one, you're just like, oh, there you are.
There you are. Yeah, exactly. Um, so, as I have in my notes, random Lieutenant Junior Grade Joey is in the cafeteria. He's getting some food from what they call the food slots.
Keep in mind, like we do want to point this out as far as like just a little behind the scenes. At this point, I'm looking up the command, the stripes on the shirts
Yeah,
to show like what your position is, your rank is. Excuse me. So at around this time, we're still calling him Rando. Rando.
we didn't even know his rank
We didn't know his rank,
until this scene. This is the first scene that he has his actual blue shirt on that has his rank insignia.
and then I look it up. We thought he was an ensign, but he is a lieutenant junior grade. So no stripes on the sleeve is an ensign,
Right.
which is weird because there are enlistees as well. So, but I don't think TOS even touches on the whole enlistee thing. I think
Wait, didn't we determine that the yeoman?
it's the yeoman. I don't know.
Also, there was a crewman in the first episode. That was the Wrigley's Pleasure Planet guy. Not in the first episode of the Air, the Man Trap.
You see, and here's where we come across the whole ranking system and how that looks
Yeah,
on the sleeve and why it was confusing with TNG because O'Brien had always been an enlistee and
yeah,
he was never. But he had. That was one point. I think he had lieutenant pips on, and then they took those away, and he had some like crazy little pip
yeah,
thing that's like was showing like he was a crewman, but also at the same time within the crewman, you don't know what rank he is. So it's like this is the start of that whole confusion thing.
Do you think all the crewmen go to Wrigley's Pleasure Planet? And
Oh,
if they do, and if
100%.
and if they do, do they have the naked time there?
No, no. If I didn't have a YouTube video to do with you, I would put you in the corner right now.
Just sounds like the naked time would be some sort of feature on Wrigley's Pleasure Planet.
That does sound like a package on Wrigley's Package. All right, all right. What type of time do you want to have here? All right, you just want party time?
I know.
You just want like rest time, or do or do you
We
want
have
the naked now?
we have
The
party
naked
time. We have
time.
massage time. We have naked time. We have. I was like, wait a minute, what was that?
Whoa, go back. Oh, the naked time. Yeah, like 10 bars of latinum will secure you. Don't even know if Ferengis exist at this point, but like,
Yeah, if we've run in. Well, no, they have. Well, they don't know that they've run into them. That's an Enterprise reference.
I
Yeah,
mean, when it comes to like currency, talk about currency, latinum is always the thing. Like, I
yeah.
always think of currency.
Let's see. So he's in the cafeteria getting some food. He starts acting weird and paying attention to his hands, which is the telltale sign. Ooh, it was even the sign in that TNG episode.
That's
That you got
always a
like the
sign when
people
you're drunk. You know,
paid.
you're randomly looking at your hands and like acting like shit is on your hand. Like you're just rubbing it consistently on your clothes and everything. Just tall. if you've never been drunk before, like this is the tall tale signs that someone is intoxicated. All
Yep,
right, you're just like you
absolutely. That is
literally just rubbing your hand.
that is 100% false.
Yeah,
Don't
no, 100, no, 100% true. What are you talking about?
at least for me, it's 100%. Well, we'll see. Um, so Sulu comes in. He's talking about owning a rapier, which is a sword.
Hmm.
Whoops! Oh God! I hope I didn't get you.
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
fine.
I hope YouTube can tell the difference between something terrible and an actual sword. Um,
There are medieval YouTubers that
yeah.
talk about swords, so you're fine.
And then I don't know, remember what they're really saying. He's talking to a dude named Riley, and he wants Joey to back up his point, and Joey just like totally snaps on him
Oh,
because
Joey,
he's completely lost it.
Joey goes to freak off.
Yeah. And this is why we started looking up the ranks because he says you don't have pointy ears and you don't outrank me, so you can stop telling me what to
Hmm.
do. And we looked it up, and like Sulu absolutely outranks him, just by
Sulu,
like a little bit, but he does outrank him.
because the broken lines on the sleeve. So those no lines, ensign. Broken lines, only one line of broken lines. That's Lieutenant Junior grade. Full solid line, Lieutenant full class.
Yeah,
Um, one solid line, broken line, Lieutenant Commander. Full two full lines, Commander. And then for captain, there's like the two outside lines solid, and the middle line is broken. Yeah,
God, the
it's
the pips are so much easier,
the pips are so much better to
and when
understand.
and when they get to the movies with the monster maroons, and it's just like the different like medals and like placements on it, I'm like, in an actual firefight, I would
Hmm.
not know whose orders to
I,
follow.
I would not know who was in command.
The division colors are also very close together, and it's just like, I'm just gonna be in it for myself. As long as I get out alive, then the mission is a
No, screw
success.
that. I'm just gonna have to know the roster inside and out.
Pretty
Like,
much, you'd have to memorize it.
hope that I'm not on a constellation class. No, no, no. What's the one? Enterprise D is
The Enterprise D is a Galaxy class.
Galaxy class. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me not be on a Galaxy
you
class where
just
I
have
have
to
to
remember
learn
everybody.
1,000 some odd people.
F out of here. Um, so they snap on him, and notably, like like Sulu is touching him a ton of times, and because he has to do this.
Yes.
The funny thing is that this dude is really acting strange, and no one is reporting this.
Like extremely, but like I don't know. I guess it's like one of those situations where it's like we're in our friend group and one of them start popping off like real quick, and you're just like, "Whoa, what's going on?" Like you're not gonna narc on them like that
But
quick. Like,
let's see if you'll narc on him after this next paragraph. Uh, Lieutenant Joey pulls a knife on Sulu.
whoa, whoa, whoa! That escalated quickly. Whoa, not just any knife. It looked like a butter knife.
It looked like a knife that would not absolutely even cut anything but
this
butter.
is
But
this is not gonna stab anyone unless you're like aggressively like
yeah,
stabbing somebody with this. It's like
I think now we've gotten to the point where you might report it.
yes. I think yeah. Here.
And he keeps going on about like we shouldn't be in space, and he takes a turn for the unaliving himself language for YouTube purposes.
Yeah, he quickly turned that knife around.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So there's a struggle once he points the knife at himself. There's a struggle to get the knife away from him. They all fall over. Joey stabs himself in the struggle, um, and this infects both Riley and Sulu.
yes, because they've been doing a lot of touching.
Right. I mean, they got in like
No,
a
did it?
got into a yeah. Pause. They got into a knife fight. Yeah, a very big difference from this episode and the TNG episode is that
Mm-hmm.
instead of a bunch of effing going on, which happened in the TNG episode, everyone got drunk and started making sweet, sweet love. Here, everyone just got in a fight,
Yeah.
and there was. I don't know when you're going to bring this up, but there was some instances of relations in potentia that happens in the episode that doesn't. I don't know. We'll get there.
In this one, it wasn't like bad like TNG though.
So TNG, I got to take on this. TNG felt a bit more empowering. Everyone following me with this. empowering to women to the extent I can flex any kind of feminist muscle in a non-performative way, because the women were like just being themselves in there. Like they just got drunk and they knew what they wanted and they were going after it.
I'll give you that because,
Yeah,
like in TNG, the main instigator of the sexuality
yeah,
of this disease was Tasha Yar, which
yeah.
is like the probably the more stronger, more physically gifted woman that's on the ship, more aggressive style. You never see her in a feminine type situation, and they show her in more in a feminine type role, but
Well,
also the aggressor within the feminine type role.
but also Crusher made her way to the bridge,
That's true. You know
and
what? You're right.
yeah,
You are right. Yes. And that makes me that makes me want to remember the scene with Riker and Deanna and how that went about. Um,
oh yeah, that's one thing we didn't look at.
oh, I should have looked at that.
If my memory serves correctly, Troy was also actually it's a thread back to this episode.
She was a softer aggressor, though. Well,
Yeah,
it's like they pegged her as more of the soft of like talking about the things that she loves about him and the
yeah.
things that she like cares for and she was okay. So in a level tone, like Deanna was the more softer, and then Beverly was like the next step up from Deanna, and with Tasha Yar being like the
Yeah.
top aggressor.
Whereas in this episode, I think there's really only one instance of that, and it is a tour de force by Nurse Chapel.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah. Anywho, so I think that to me that's more empowering because they're owning what they're doing and owning
Mm-hmm.
what they want, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, that is a bit more advanced than the one instance versus like two other weird things that happen kind
Mm-hmm.
of in the episode in that way. So
Around
okay,
about this time, they do have a scene where they're in the like Joey, like after him getting stabbed, he's going to the I want to say sick bay, but they haven't called it that. But
I'm calling it sick bay because I don't care that they haven't called it that yet.
the medical center,
Yeah.
that he's there, and I think you're about to get to that. And he's in like some like bag. I thought he was almost in like a body bag.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll get into that. But first, we gotta go to the bridge where Riley, Sulu, Kirk, and Spock. They're on the bridge observing the decay.
Hmm.
Um, for some reason, I noted that her and Kirk have a chat. Oh, because while they're chatting,
Hmm.
yeah, Riley and Sulu like start staring at their hands even more and like are just effing around with them.
Once
Uh,
again, how you get intoxicated? You start looking at your hands. I don't know what to do with my hands. All right,
as many times as
Minnie.
as we have hung out, that has never happened. I don't know why you keep telling the internet this.
Just saying, if you ever have a time where you like really look staring at your hands and look at them like want to wipe them like you got crap on your your
I would think
hands.
you're on something else besides alcohol,
Oh,
but
most definitely LSD.
man, you ever just look at your hands, man? Just look at them. Um, so Bones and Chapel are performing the emergency surgery on Joey, and Joey's vitals are just dropping. Um, they
Joey doesn't want to live.
well, and he made that pretty clear. I guess this is what do we call it when you want to like warn someone, a trigger warning,
Trigger warning.
a little bit. So his vitals are dropping. Chapel puts him on a respirator. Bones finishes the procedure and closes him up. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Riley is starting to have problems compensating the orbit. So for those who don't know, and we had to look this up while we're watching, Sulu is
Hilarious.
the helmsman, so he's
Yes.
piloting the ship.
Yes.
Riley's the navigator. I don't know if that setup's going to hold through the rest of the series because I think some other stuff starts happening. And even within this episode, there's stuff that just you can do at a station that you shouldn't be able to do. But this is what's going on. So
I
Riley,
mean, from TNG standards, we were like, The navigator would be like more the operations style officer.
So actually, I'm gonna push back on that a little bit.
You are. I understand.
I don't think either of. So basically, I think what it is Uhura's like at a communication station. Spock's at like a science station.
Hmm.
You got the helm with Sulu, and then
Hmm.
Riley's at navigation. And I think they all just have ops controls because at some point later on, Uhura's like able to open a door from the
That
communication.
is true.
So I'm just
That is
like,
true.
I don't think there's like a
Okay.
true op station. It's just like
Okay.
somehow they all have some access to.
And going forward, like in Star Trek, like with TNG, Discovery, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the Khan is the one that like also does navigating as well. So they
Right.
essentially do both of those jobs.
Yeah. Even on Strange New Worlds, the prequel to this.
That's what makes this. That's what makes
Ortegas
this
can
different.
fly and navigate the ship at
Yeah,
the same time.
that's what makes this difficult.
Yeah.
But like, I truly believe that the whole purpose of it was that the person that's to the right of Ortega's
Hmm.
is the person that like helps with the navigation of
Yeah.
the ship. Cause
Do we know who that is? Is that
you know
like a they switch them
they
out?
switch
Okay.
them out. There's an Asian girl that they show. There's a I believe a white girl that they show. A young white man that they show. Like I truly think it's like more of a rotation on
Okay.
Discovery for that position.
Yeah. Let's see. So Bones can't figure out why. Whoops, I said Riley, but that's actually Joey. Why Joey isn't improving,
Hmm.
and then Joey just straight up leaves us. Just
Yep. Joey
calls
is
it a life and checks on
unalived.
out. Yeah.
He checks out. Deuces. I'm out. So Joey. So that brings our counter,
Yes.
our unalived counter from, and Joey was a blue shirt.
Yep.
So we added a one to the blue shirt. So that takes us from three to four.
Yep. And we don't know if the science team on the planet was Starfleet or not.
We don't.
So
So
we
we,
so
we
those
didn't add
six,
them.
yeah, don't know what to do with those.
We
Uh,
can't. We can't. I guess we can put them in the unknown, but I feel like that would be kind of cheating with what we're trying to do.
well, yeah, because we don't know who they are. Did they say
Yeah,
that was a?
I don't. I don't.
I mean, they don't know what to say it
Once
is, right?
again, yeah,
Because
they don't say the Federation or
I'm
Starfleet or
curious
anything. So
what's the first episode they mentioned Starfleet. I want to look it up, but I don't want to
no,
go
no.
navigate away from my
I
notes.
think it's best if we just like
Okay.
watch it, and if they name it, oh, they name
Yeah,
Starfleet.
exactly. Um, so Bones calls Kirk to sickbay because obviously something strange just happened, and Bones keeps going on and on about like these wounds are pretty superficial, even though they
Yeah,
required surgery. So I don't know
Bones is
exactly what
very
happened.
like he. I'm very confident as a doctor, and I just want to let you know
Yeah.
that should not have happened.
Hmm.
Like let I've lost people on the table. I
Yeah.
have. However, this should not have been one of those situations where I
Right.
lost somebody. And he was like he was upset
Yeah.
really about this.
He was pretty heated. Ah, dang, I hate it when my notes do this. I like tap the screen and it's like, do you want to write some more? I'm like, no. Let's see. Ryan. Jeez. Who's Ryan? So the planet is
Riley,
the planet is shrinking, and the crew needs to be able to make quick adjustments in order to. I think I said potentially survive because they didn't quite explain at this point that
they
they
didn't
were going to burn up if.
didn't fully explain it.
Yeah, and so Riley and Sulu, who need to be really on it right now, um, are basically starting to act out in their infection. Sulu abandons his post to go to the gym so he can do some fencing and tries to get Riley
I'd
to
say
go
he
with
just
him.
leaves the bridge to do some shenanigans. That's the way I put that. Like
Okay, I
he's
mean,
going to the gym. No, no shenanigans.
well, he says he's going to the gym. We very much learn later that he made different choices on the way there.
I do want to point out something right here is that when they were talking about the situation that they were in,
Hmm.
I had to do a parallel to because The Naked Now and the Naked Time are both time clock episodes.
Yeah, the naked
Uh,
time just sounds like a dirty video though.
100%. So in the Naked Time for the TOS, it is like, darn it, now I'm thinking about that. I wonder if that's like verbiage that's gonna demonetize this video, but I'll cross that bridge when I get
Hmm.
there.
I don't know. I don't know YouTube that well enough.
um, I noticed these parallels from the two episodes, and like for instance, um, the fact that like the lab was frozen
Hmm.
and when they first got there, and then there was a scene in TNG where a part of the ship that they were looking at was frozen.
All right.
Uh, Also, within this particular scene, um, the, as far as the time clock situation for TOS with the naked time, they stated that the planet was shrinking. So if the planet is on the verge of collapse, and I guess like the shrinking gets to that point
I'm
of
just assuming this
collapsing.
is a thing that could happen in science, but I don't know.
I haven't looked this up either to even state.
Yeah.
I mean the
We just know that if we're not making the right adjustments as this thing is collapsing, we'll burn up in its
yes,
atmosphere, is what they say is going to happen.
I feel like the Naked Now's time clock made more sense than this one.
Because the star is expanding, and then
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, what speeds up the clock, if I remember that episode, is like there's like uh, a discharge, a solar discharge of some sort, and it like a solar flare or something like that, and then like because they have to push the Ziakosti into
No, no, it's the star is collapsing. So the star is going to collapse and explode.
right.
And when that happens, there's a shock wave. So they push that
Oh,
ship
okay, got it.
in front of the shock wave to push the Enterprise
Okay.
more away to give them more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
yeah, two ticking clocks.
yeah, two ticking clocks, but just like two done
Yeah,
separately. However, I feel like the TNG one made more sense to be able to understand than the TOS one, than the TOS situation.
yeah, but they both stuck to it
Yes, yes,
and timed it
yes,
correctly so that like you the passage of time you felt during the episode from when they started the ticking clock
yes,
felt like we were getting closer and closer to the end of the ticking clock. And then we actually, at least on the Naked Time, paused the episode and they were like, we got 20 minutes left, and there were about 25 minutes left in the
yes,
episode. So it's like,
yes.
okay, every minute of real time I'm watching this, they're getting closer to destruction.
And like granted, there was like 25 minutes left, and I believe that was part of what one more commercial break
Yeah.
within there. So
And you know, you got like 60, 70 seconds
resolution,
of resolution.
yeah,
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, we unlike what happens in Strange New Worlds, oddly enough, we were like really on the clock, and you could really feel it
yeah.
watching the
Oh,
episode.
what Strange New World episode you talking about?
The
They're
episode that shall not be named,
they're all great.
and then there's
Oh
another episode that shall not be named
no,
where
all the episodes are great. That there's not a terrible
they've never made a
episode.
bad one. Yeah, you're right. What am I saying? That's just the sound of a man that just is looking at his hands all the time. It's had a little bit too much a wee nip of the creature. Let's see, where am I at? So, Bones and Kirk are talking about the situation, and Kirk wants to know if what happened to Joy is in any way connected to the planet. And I don't know if you wrote down the line, but he drops like he drops a bar when talking to Bones.
uh, Bones, I want the impossible check too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes.
Bones is like, we checked everything possible, and Kirk's like, I want the impossible checked as well. And I was like, ooh,
That is a bar. Yeah.
let's get to it. Um, Eventually, Spock notices that Sulu has totally left the bridge and covers an adjustment that he needs to make. He
I don't know
called.
why it took Spock so long to realize that he had dipped.
Well, I think when Sulu left, they kind of zoomed in on Spock, and Spock was like really concentrating on something at his station, which has his back to him.
You sound
But
like a terrible manager to me. I mean, that's. I mean, I'm not judging, but
yeah, I don't know.
you know,
I
I've
mean, also like
I've been a manager before. If I take my eyes off something,
that's not how you manage. I
that
mean, I
is
haven't
how I
been.
manage. No, no,
You're not a
no.
micromanager.
I micromanage the crap out of my. No,
We have
no.
like 10 episodes of how we both hate and lament and never micromanage our people.
I'm joking. I am not a micromanager. I let my people do their stuff.
So I totally get. But I think the only thing that would have been weird is Sulu. The only thing that would have been weird is that they're talking pretty loudly about leaving, and then Sulu leaves. So, um, Zero watching. What happened to the mystery person? Why didn't you come back? Okay, whatever. Um, for those who don't know, he brought up the broadcast. Yeah, timer so we can keep an eye on it, and yeah,
Make sure that we don't go too far over.
yeah, we're not actually hurt when nobody's watching because we know eventually the algorithm will discover this stuff. To that end,
Hmm.
Spock knows that Sulu left. Yeah, he covers it, and he's asking Riley like, "Hey, where did Sulu go?" And then Riley turns around and says something in very stereotypical Irish.
He says whatever.
Yeah, he goes stereotypical Irish to the point that I'm not gonna even try to imitate or, or
I,
say anything outside because he's gonna stay in stereotypical Irish for a while. Like it's a stereotype, the Irish drunk, right? And they just lean into it this episode.
it did not make sense.
Yeah. So a random red shirt covers for Sulu, and then what? Uhura takes the con.
I
I
was shocked at this. I was, uh,
I
and
had to add some emphasis there. Uhura takes the
okay,
con.
okay. I don't think she takes the con. I think the red
Okay,
shirt takes over Sulu's position, who is the pilot. So
okay.
the
To
red
me,
shirt is the con. Uhura takes navigation.
no, no. Well, okay. You probably know the terminology better to me, but the way I was raised, you can navigate and fly the ship at the con. So to me, the whole station together is
But I don't. Okay, without knowing exactly how these stations are set up.
right.
Um, when I was when I was in the Air Force ROTC,
Mm-hmm.
in your two-seater jets that are like for long reconnaissance missions, you have the pilot position, you have the navigator
Yeah.
position. The navigator tells the pilot like this direction we need to go, da da da. Like let's avoid this, da da da. Like the navigator like needs to know the topography of the area that they're going through to be able to navigate like the plane safely throughout. And then of course the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the terminology they're trying to go with here. That's why the stations are connected to one another. So you have the con, which is the pilot, and then the navigator who helps the pilot to navigate or do certain like crazy calculations to figure out how to get past certain things. Da 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 da. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, that's cool. The way I looked at it, Uhura takes the con.
So screw my whole explanation. Like your explanation, like that was a great explanation. All right. Screw that whole explanation. No, this is what I.
Yep. But I appreciate it. That was very well said and intelligent. Like, full credit.
I'm trying to. Okay, I'm really trying to understand how the stations are set from a 1960 standpoint and how they like created this world to the 19s, 80s, 90s standpoint
Yeah,
where TNG comes in play and they like revamp a lot of this crap. So
to where it makes more sense.
exactly.
Because remember in Charlie X, they overloaded Charlie X by just like throwing on random switches at like every station, and it's like just like
Yes.
everything is just kind of. And one of those was a Hura station that they just
Yes.
did. It was just like, okay, right, I don't really know what's happening. So Riley is sent to sick bay. Spock just tells him to go to sickbay and hopes that everything works out. But he does call security.
He
Is
does call
like,
security. Yes.
make sure he gets there. And then he calls Kirk to the bridge. And then after some point, Riley stumbles around, eyes a random female crewmate, and without doing anything, he makes it to sickbay. Um, he walks into sick.
You were scared for a moment there. On
Riley put
this.
me on alert for harassment and
So
sexism a few times, and he doesn't ever quite do it.
so behind the scenes, real quick, we've we have noticed that there's a lot of sexism in these episodes, especially the first four episodes. Now that we're on episode 5, so we're a little on edge when a situation could occur where it could cause a the best way I could put this is a huge HR issue
Yeah.
within within your place of work. So we were a little on edge at this point, like, oh no, oh no, oh
Also,
no.
it's like 60s television, and the definition of like what's
Yes,
misogynistic and
yes,
sexism has evolved quite a bit, even in our lifetime,
yes.
even in the last like 6 years. It's evolved quite a bit. So it's just like, yeah, it's like, man, I don't know when this is going to go left or how hard this is going to go left, but
I mean,
but
granted, like you did hold your breath on this one. I kind of held mine too,
yeah,
because the way it looked, it did look like this is about to be like straight, like a huge sexist moment that was about to occur.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess it kind of does. I mean, I don't know what Nurse Chapel think. They don't go into her thoughts on what happens next. Um, he walks into sick bay. There's 3 spray bottles on the table that look
You
like
had
they're
to
full of
point that out,
cleaner.
did you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're just
that's
straight
that's
up
not
cleaning
futuristic
spray bottles.
technology for
Yeah,
you.
I
Like,
they had those in the '60s. Like I was like, there's just spray bottles with liquid in it. I'm like,
wasn't that newer technology in the '60s?
I don't know.
It wasn't. I was trying to act ignorant there to make this look like this is like futuristic technology.
Well, this actually happened for me in real time once. I was watching. This is a long time ago when Enterprise was still on the air. My father had just bought a laser thermometer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never seen it before. It was cool. Like you could see the laser and point it at something and tell you the temperature. I was like, wow, this thing is pretty amazing. Cut to a few weeks later, I'm watching an episode of Enterprise, and Trip has one of them. But instead of like using it to take temperature, he's using it to like fix the warp engine, and I'm like, that's not what that used
Okay,
for.
all right. I am about to blow your mind. All
Okay.
right. It says on here, I just Googled it.
Hmm.
It says on here that spray bottles was a technology invented in the late 1960s. Yes.
So you're saying, so you're saying that not every American
Knew
would have
about
seen
spray
one of
bottles,
these,
yes.
and so they're
Yes.
on the set as future technology because they're gonna be like, no one's seen this. They're gonna be like, what is that? And cut to decades later, I'm sitting here like, did they leave those out on accident? Were they like cleaning the?
That was considered futuristic technology at the time. It sounds very weird and like very far fetched right now.
Let me tell you guys, if you go watch the episode, they're the most basic spray bottles ever. Just like generic. Like you could
Oh,
order these from like just a oversupply
no,
store. Like
screw that.
they
You can go to the dollar store right down
and buy these
the
spray
Dollar General
bottles,
right around the corner. It's just
and
like, yeah.
they're just sitting out in sick bay with liquid in them. And I guess if you've never seen one before, you'd be like, "Oh, what is that?" But I didn't think the '60s was when.
And definitely one of them has Gorn repellent.
Oh yeah, definitely. At this point, for
Yeah,
sure.
one hundred
After the
percent.
whole thing, Chapel went with
Yeah,
Battelle. Like, yeah.
yeah.
Um, so okay, I guess I'll let that go. I don't really have any choice. Um, so this is where it starts. I mean, this is one where it could have been worse than what it was,
Yes.
even though what it was still weird and creepy. Riley approaches Nurse Chapel and asks about Joe, and
Hmm.
Chapel has to break the bad news to him because I guess they haven't like in the midst
They
of the
haven't
shipwreck.
announced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so he really comes on to Chapel at this moment.
Oh,
Uh,
extremely. They get really close,
yeah, she's not.
intimately close.
Yeah, she's not repulsed by it,
No,
so I don't
no.
quite know how to. And it's not like
So it's
it's
not
overly touchy, but yeah, I don't know really how to handle
it's
like
not one that gets into the grape category.
yeah,
This is
like we've already seen worse
yes.
on the
Oh,
show.
100% worse.
Yeah,
So this I truly think that this was just a situation to show how level of intoxicated this
he was.
crew, yeah,
Yeah,
this officer was. So I would say that as far as a sexist moment that we've seen in these episodes, this was on more on the tamer side,
yeah.
but
There's a
also
grade to it. If
yeah,
someone were
there's a
doing
grade
this,
to it.
if
Yeah,
someone were doing this same thing with racism, we'd both be like, okay, it's a binary thing. You're either racist or you're not. Right? Like, this is either a sexist moment or you're not,
oh
right?
no, well, I have things with that too, but like
Okay.
that's a totally
We'll see some
to,
racist stuff here, and we'll see
like
eventually, and we'll see how.
there are levels. I do feel like there are levels to racism.
Yeah.
Granted, racism, racism, but like there are like I put it as levels um of ignorance to racism.
Gotcha.
So the more ignorant you are within the situation, the higher your bar is, and you're like, oh no, you're just a complete racist.
Yeah.
Like there, I do feel like that there are like touch racists. Like
Interesting.
I do. And granted, that could be my love for people and
Yeah.
like feeling like that there's
I don't
always
love
like
people like you love people, so yeah.
there's always a good side to people. Like I have to believe that. I have to
Okay.
believe that as a person. If I don't, then I spiral.
This is why I usually get to airlocking people sooner than you do.
Exactly, exactly. I have the uncanny ability to understand like the potential in people and to be able to see that and to be able to like um understand that there's a like actual really great side to this person.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that can be a blind spot. I and I think I've told you this before. That is an aspect of mine that can be a blind spot. So normally when I'm in the leadership position, I try to get a counter to that. I try to get
Gotcha.
someone that can like check that blind spot. And I even tell that person what I like this is the main reason why I brought you on. I have this blind spot in this area and I need somebody to be able to point that out to me. Like I'm giving you carte blanche to tell me like, Dante, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
you're being blind here.
Well, and I think something that makes the episode. There's three things about this scene that makes the episode
Hmm.
kind of challenge it to like how sexist this moment is. One, we've seen Riley try to save someone's life earlier, so we know
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
a bit of a selfless person. We haven't seen him really do anything
That's
else.
true. That's
Um,
very true.
yeah, we know that he's not drunk by choice. He's sick.
Hmm.
He's been
Hmm.
infected by a virus, and then he's acting strange and weird. And the plot requires him to touch Chapel so that she gets infected
Yes.
too, which is what happens in this scene. So there's kind of like some things going where like you think to yourself like, man, what he's doing is a bit out of pocket, but like I understood how we got here, and I don't think Riley
Hmm.
would have done. He's not like the two just really random people that looked at Yeoman Rand in her first
Hmm.
appearance
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just like
yeah.
said some
That
really
was crazy.
inappropriate stuff
Yeah,
under the
yeah.
influence of nothing. It's kind of like
I feel
okay,
like every time Yeoman Rand is in a situation, there's definitely something sexist that's
and
going
it's
on.
coming.
Uh, but I will say that going back to the scene where Riley and Sulu were talking to Lieutenant Junior Gray, fuck up. Um,
Oh,
that's
now I know why you brought the timer up.
th- thank you. See, you understand. Like when I get
Yeah.
to a certain point, that's when I can bring out the cuss words. Uh, so I understood that scene now, like that you pointed that out, because that was the time to show exactly how the disease is transferred.
Yeah.
It's that scene is mainly for the audience, so it does get kind of wild where he's just like turned into this completely different person and just like trying to like calm him down or whatnot, and they're touching him. But like that's the show because within the next scene, then it shows like, oh no, they have this disease, they're intoxicated, even though they didn't show like they got. Well, actually, I think they showed like Riley getting infected, but we don't know that Sulu was. And
No, we got.
then later on, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like he starts acting. It's just like, oh, Sulu's infected too. Oh yeah, that's right. Sulu did touch him as
Yeah.
well. So it's one of those things like, oh, okay, I correlate. I'm understanding
Yeah.
now. So when they touched Nurse Chapel, when Riley touched Nurse Chapel, it's like, oh, Nurse
Yeah.
Chapel's
And,
infected.
and also like in the Naked Now, given the few minutes I watched of it,
Mm-hmm.
they also give an audio cue when someone is being infected actively. I can't remember. It's like kind of
It's
like
like
a
yeah, it's
like a rattle,
yeah.
like kind of sound. And the Naked Now, it's like more kind of wispy, like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So okay. So for anyone who wants to call us out on what we said about how he conducts himself around Chapel, it's kind of like, well, this is what happens in the episode.
It
So,
is.
and I don't think Riley would have done that in his right well mind.
And then Raleigh, next scene isn't Raleigh like Instant Crusher? Or oh,
Next scene,
uh
next
huh.
scene. So I'm gonna describe this with a little bit more detail than we thought. So
Okay.
Riley walks out of sick bay after infecting Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to an establishing shot of a turbo lift door, and we're just sitting in the hallway for a second. I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Pow! Sulu jumps out of the turbo lift, no shirt, with a rapier, swing, swinging a fencing sword around. I was like, wow. It was like boom, pow, surprise.
This is the most Sulu moment that I've seen in like just Star Trek period. Like if there's anything to embody who Sulu is, it's this moment.
Well, Sulu's also sick, right? So like he's also sick. He's also under the influence of whatever's going
But
on.
it heightens his passion for being like a good fencer.
Yeah. Spock calls him a swashbuckler at some
Yes,
point in here.
yes.
Um, so, anyways, yeah, that's the next immediate shot, and what a choice. We went from like just a bit of a moment.
Oh,
Uh,
it's like a strong change. Like we go from
yeah,
one area to the next, and it's just like boom. Here's here's drunk Sulu, man.
yeah, exactly.
And this is what the hell he's doing.
Cheers. Thank you,
Cheers.
buddy.
So it's like it is a bit of a whiplash. It is a bit of a
A
whiplash.
bit of a whiplash. I didn't
Uh,
quite I had you pause the episode because I was like,
you were like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I was like, wait, what just happened? Because I literally thought I meant something. We went from this moment with Riley and Chapel, just boom. It was Kool Aid Man, you know?
Oh
Like,
right. Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa.
It's that boom. Oh my.
Yeah, exactly. I was not ready. So for the sake of establishing that it's a real sword, he taps the top of the sword with his
Mm-hmm.
finger and like uh,
Pricks himself.
pricks himself a little bit. Yeah. Um, and then he comes across two randos who honestly are just looking like they're just trying to get through the day. And then,
I pegged this as like two lower deckers,
yeah,
like already like been decontaminated, like the restrooms,
yeah, I know.
then scrub the hole
Yeah,
for any debris
for like
before they
space
went into
barnacles
this
or
like
whatever. Yeah,
yeah space barnacles.
yeah,
Like so they've had a day. Like I seriously would like to see like an episode of just them right before this came up.
yeah.
Like they've had a day.
Like one of the senior officers, the helmsman of your ship, has no shirt on and is
Yes.
holding you at sword point.
Yes.
And these two dudes, and this is the thumbnail on the.
This is the thumbnail for the episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're just looking at him like, I can't with you right now.
Uh,
Like I'm so
what
tired. Can you
Lieutenant,
just go away?
Lieutenant. It felt like they just did this like last Saturday, Lieutenant.
Like, come on,
Like you
man.
did this last Saturday, dude. Like,
You
get an
know,
arrest. We know
you
you're a fencer.
you know I'm walking off a 14-hour shift. Will you just get out my face right now?
please, just like
And it only becomes real to him when he charges them. Then they run away.
they're like, oh crap, oh.
Yeah. So Sulu's officially a menace right now, and is running away. So we cut back to Uhura, who I've written down is being relieved from the con, or we'll just say she's being relieved from navigation if you're nasty. Um, and
It'd be nasty.
Kirk wants security to find Riley and Sulu, and I put in parentheses, why doesn't Kirk call GQ4 here?
GQ4?
You have forgotten one of our running jokes.
I have.
It's the general quarters order. Remember,
Oh
in
yeah,
the man
and the
trap,
man trap.
there
Yeah,
was
yeah,
GQ3 and
yeah.
GQ4.
So they did another thing
They
in
did it.
this
Yeah,
one
they did.
of
I
the red
added it to
alert.
it. Yeah,
What was this one?
we'll get to it, but it was alert condition Baker 2.
Yeah, like so it's like what is that higher than GQ level 4? Like
I have no idea.
what is this like a DEF CON?
I will be so happy when they get to the point where it's just battle stations and red alert, and
Oh
we
my
don't have to
god.
like.
They're trying it feels like they're trying to get there. Like we're almost there. We are on the cusp of getting the right terminology, but just not there yet.
And also, if I was a Starfleet officer in command, like, just I just want red alert, yellow alert. Like, do
Don't
not
make it too
overcomplicate the playbook. These shipwide emergencies are
so
dangerous enough as it is.
so you know where they get this from. In a lot of situations, like certain places that you will work at,
Hmm.
the main thing that I think of is a hospital.
Hmm.
There are different levels of like code blah, code
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And regardless of like where you work within the hospital, you have to know all these codes.
Right.
So, but I was probably say the best thing about it when I worked in the hospital, they had my badge, and then they have a card attached to that badge that like shows all the codes. So if I forget a code, I can just like, well, all right, what's code
Oh, you had like the
purple?
wristband
Yeah,
from
yeah,
with the plays on it.
like with the
Yeah.
QB, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like code purple. What the hell, code
When did you work at a
purple?
hospital, by the way?
Oh,
I,
that's my second job, really.
really, I don't
Yeah, I
remember
worked
that
in a
at
movie
all.
theater, and then I worked for a hospital. Uh, uh, this was around.
What year is this?
I don't think a lot of y'all knew that I.
What was I into while
No,
you were
no,
doing
that
this?
was my third. I think that was my third job. Actually,
Are we
this
talking
was
like?
going into college, so that was around the time
Oh man, I don't remember that at
where the
all.
group split up.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, Kumla knew
Okay.
because he was still here, but like, I don't think y'all knew fully like where I was
Yeah.
working at
Okay.
when I. So yeah, I worked at one of the hospitals like close to the downtown area,
Okay. Gotcha. Hmm.
and so yeah, that's the way that I looked at this was like different codes for different situations.
Yeah.
Uh, but they haven't given the audience any contextual clues as to
What any of this means?
exactly.
It's just
So we don't know,
gibberish.
is this worse than the other, or is it the same, or we are like where are we within these levels?
Yeah. I don't know how much danger I'm in
Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
given how you. I just know you're reacting very strongly to the situation.
It'd
Uh,
be it'd be one of those situations where if I was just a regular crewman and not like privy to a lot of information, it's like so we went to
you have to go to your
general
employee card.
quarters, such
You're
and
like,
such, such and such.
this means I got to.
Okay, I need to go to the station. All right, do y'all know
You
what's
have to
going on?
go to the library. Oh no, wait, this is my library card.
That's hilarious.
What am I doing? Um, okay, just to show
Do
how.
no, I want to put it. I like do it like go to one of crewmates. Do any of y'all know what's going on? Oh yeah, yeah. It's uh, part of the crew is like getting infected by this disease. Apparently, it's intoxicating, making them give intoxicated effects, and we're like just slowly barreling into the planet that we're orbiting.
It's like, oh,
Oh, okay. Oh,
you know what?
this is a G619 situation. Got it.
Well,
Got it.
I don't really care until it's G170, and
Oh,
like
dude, G170 was,
when I
dude.
hear that, then I really got
Woo,
like
yeah, yeah.
it,
That's when we need to really
yeah.
care.
Anything
Like,
less than that, I mean, it's
nah,
like the difference
yeah,
between a tornado watch and a tornado warning.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's fine. To the extent of how confused I was on what exactly was happening, all I have written is something happened and the ship is in danger. That's all you need to know. And while this is going on, for lack of a better way to say it, Sulu attacks the bridge with a sword, and after a brief struggle, Spock uses a nerve pinch to subdue Sulu. And by the time they subdue Sulu, Riley has taken over engineering. I think you had a couple of observations.
so, so I'm the whole time I'm watching this. So I want y'all to keep in mind that one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek, the Next Generation, is the Nick and Now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Sicko.
we've had this conversation as to what, like, why this is one of my favorite episodes. Like, it's just the fact that I thought it was cool as because I did remember when I watched the TNG version that there was a version of this on the original
Right.
series. Granted, like,
A
uh,
hazy memory.
yeah,
Very
I
fuzzy.
don't
Yeah.
know. I can't remember how much I remember of it, but I knew that this episode
I've
existed.
always known it was a callback. I don't know if
Yes.
always have known it was a callback, but I knew it was a callback.
It's possibly one of my fondest memories of like me and my father like bonding and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So like seeing that, it was just like a joy to be like, oh man, like TNG did a rendition of this episode from the older one. So you did see a lot of parallels from TN what they did in TNG to this episode. So Riley takes over engineering. In the TOS in the TNG episode, excuse me, Wesley is the one
Mm-hmm.
that takes over engineering and pretty much like puts a force field around the main control area. And in this one, Riley just like locks everybody out. Like you can't get
Yeah.
in.
Riley has locked himself out. He fooled everyone into leaving. I haven't gotten to
Hmm.
this part in the notes yet, but for just to contextualize this part, he fools everyone into leaving by saying Kirk wants everyone up there, and they
Hmm.
believed him.
Don't
Because I
know.
guess,
Don't know why.
yeah. Well, I guess why would he lie? I don't know. And then yeah, he locks himself in engineering. You also noted that I think this is the first time we saw the nerve pinch ever. So,
First time we've seen engineering. Period.
oh sure, yeah,
And the first time we've seen the Vulcan nerve pinch.
yep, yep.
Yes.
And it's at this point Spock mentions that this is the first time I really realize how much like I get that we're in danger, but I realize how much danger we're actually in. So maybe it was a good creative choice. But he's like, we're gonna burn up in 20 minutes. I'm like, that's not a lot of time for such an extreme consequence.
Which is why we go back to our like our joke that we just made earlier about the no, I don't really figure out to it's like this status because it's like they do react in a way that makes it seem like oh this is like an everyday occurrence. Oh,
Hmm.
this is an everyday thing. Okay, so this is a Tuesday. Got
Yeah,
it. But like now it's like Kirk is like, hey, hey, we about to go in 20 minutes.
he gets a little unhinged at this point.
If
Like,
we don't do something in 20 minutes, like god dang it, we are
yeah,
out of here. Period.
exactly. Um, Scotty explains how Riley got himself in there. Riley is just saying a bunch of stuff and according to my notes is drunk AF. Um, the virus is spreading throughout the
Oh,
ship.
Riley, I do have something for you.
You betrayed your uniform!
Uh,
It
how did he do that though?
don't matter. It don't matter if you're intoxicated or not. Like you betrayed. Like, dude, you.
I thought you said that we're saying that in the sense that he was playing into Irish stereotypes.
Well, yeah, that's. I didn't think of that, but Now that you're pointing that out.
Vicious Irish stereotypes. Um, I think the Patriots won. Just FYI.
Oh, darn it.
They usually interview the winning team after the game,
Mm,
right? Okay, well that's what they're doing.
mm.
But
I'll verify that in a second here.
yeah, that also means I can
Yes, 28-24. Yes,
not even a scoregami. What a bunch of
not even a scoregami.
uninteresting stuff. Okay,
I don't think there was any reason for us to watch that episode. I mean that game. I'm
that
sorry.
that episode of the NFL.
Yeah, that episode of the NFL. I mean, it's all scripted anyways. I mean,
Well, maybe you can bribe the scriptwriter and get the Bucks together for a
I
playoff
already did that 2020.
run. Well, then you're out of budget.
I'm out of
That's
money.
look at the merch. That's what you look
Yes.
at. That's what you
So
look
so
at.
now I'm like, yeah, this wall. If I could put some like
Hmm.
University of Miami
Hmm.
merch win the Natty, yeah, right
Well,
there.
let's see if they're going to score more than
Yeah.
10 points in their
Oh,
remaining
100%.
games.
But we're on to the next round. That's all that matters.
That's
All right.
it. Survive in
All right.
advance.
See. There's a difference here with Tampa Bay versus the Miami Hurricanes.
Hmm.
Miami Hurricanes actually look like trajectory style. Like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, we've had some shakiness, but like, dude, no, we're getting better. And then like Texas A&M when they were playing them, I have faith that we could win.
Yeah.
When everybody else didn't.
Yeah.
And look, we won. Regardless of how we won, we won.
Yeah. This is the football coverage that Star Trek fans really want.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, 100%. Like this, we'll cut this out later.
So,
Okay, to your point, Patrick. Let's keep going with the episode.
this is where we go to Alert Condition Baker 2.
Oh my God, what was this?
I don't know. It was red alert to me.
Like,
Like they played the red alert sound. They
pretty
turned on the
much.
red lights. I'm like, they went to red alert, which is funny because there's red alert canonically already. So I'm like, what is all this stuff? But this is we talk about Steve Shives every episode. This is why he doesn't care about canon. But I'm also like, if they would just contextualize it in some way where it's like, well, I don't think it's a
Like
Baker
break this
5,
down. Like, yeah.
but I think it's a Baker 2. It's like, okay.
Didn't we realize by this time that like Kirk is like, could we really tell if Kirk was like an angry drunk or
We were leaning towards angry drunk, but no, I think maybe that's
or is that a
coming
little bit?
up.
Is that a little bit ahead?
I think that's coming up because there's a moment where Uhura has to snap on him a little bit
Oh,
because
that's
she's
right. Yeah, that's around that time.
yeah, and we haven't gotten to that yet. Um, Riley cuts off the alert because apparently Ahura has to tell everyone individually that we're a alert condition Baker too, and then he taunts Ahura, and then he announces that there's going to be a formal dance in the bowling alley at
Yeah,
1900,
yeah.
the Enterprise bowling alley.
Every starship now is equipped with a bowling alley.
Well, you don't have a holodeck,
Patrick,
so
bowling alley. Like we got entertainment room 1, 2, 3, probably a 4,
in a bowling alley.
and a bowling alley. All right.
Yeah. Um, I don't really like bowling. I don't think I've ever like admitted that to a ton of folks, but in corporate life you get invited to a lot of bowling events, and I'm like, I
Really,
truly don't like.
I don't mind bowling.
I'm fine with it. I'm just not any good at it, and I just don't want to like
Ah, okay.
and like
Yeah, I strategized the hell out of bowling to realize like how to roll the ball and like make it get a strike. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
I just don't care. I really don't.
you
If
don't.
I never go to another corporate bowling event in my entire life, I'll be fine. And this is the part where everyone gets thrown around the ship because something happens where
I think this is the first true time
mm-hmm.
that they have a situation like this of the everybody look like you're going the ship's getting rocked this direction and everybody moves that and the camera goes the other direction. It's just like like
Right.
yeah. So I I would have to say there's a lot of stuff that happened with this episode that made me happy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this was one of them.
Although I do think if I was like trying to be like in command and I just get randomly thrown on the floor, I would feel I would feel a little embarrassed,
In
even if
universe,
like,
yes, you wouldn't want something like that to happen. Out of universe and understanding, like you see this countless times,
yeah,
like in modern Trek, and seeing it for the first time here was just like it. It was a okay. I think this episode showed me how much ground that they were getting with the source material.
yeah,
Like we're understanding what this world is, exactly
we're
how
figuring
things
it out.
happen. Yeah, it's it's a slow like progression to we have figured this out. We got the right cast members. We have the types of stories that we know we want to tell and
Yeah,
everything. Now it's just like figuring out really how these cast members like really the cast really changes and all that, how they interact in certain situations. Da da da. We're getting like how Kirk, the captain, is and everything. So yeah, it's. It, I don't know. I found myself smiling a lot through this episode. If I'm being honest with you.
again, like I expected us to almost do like another 3 hours on this episode on spec because I was like, this episode's gonna be so bad because everyone's gonna get drunk. There's gonna be so much racism, sexism, loose plot threads,
I
and because what they call it, it's not like pornography
yeah.
basically on the thing like that. I was like, this is gonna be so stupid. And I'm like, why is it so well put together?
You can say sexually explicit material.
Okay. Well, I know you can't. I know on YouTube you can't say, even though you said it earlier, sex. I think that triggers something in the thing as well. But
I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
yeah. So Bones is studying Sulu, and actually he gets mad like I would get mad, where he's like, "Can you please keep the ship steady?" I'm like,
I'm like doing like good research here.
you just threw me on the floor in front of my nurse,
Hilarious.
trying trying to get a serious thing done. So he's studying Sulu to try to figure out what to do, because really it's he doesn't get a lot of airtime in this episode, but this is a Bones.
Bones. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is more of a doctor centric
yeah.
episode.
Bones has to save the day, or we ain't gonna make it.
And I don't I think they put more emphasis on uh as you're about to get to another crewman saving the day, more so than Bones saving the day. And
Yeah,
I really think that was really a B plot, really to the actual main plot, because when they finally like when Bones finally figures out the antidote, it's really just as like a side thing. It's like here, yeah,
yeah.
I got the antidote.
And in the Naked Now, it was the TNG episode. It was the medical mystery
They
is what carried it.
worked it in very well with the main plot to not make it like this is a side thing. Look,
Yeah,
this is part of the resolution to this issue that we're currently
yeah,
having. Yeah.
exactly. Um, let's see. Riley makes some announcements about how women should wear their hair, which I thought that was going to go way worse
Yeah.
than it
Yeah.
was, but he seems to stop
There,
there.
there, there were a lot of situations where you just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and
I'm
then
like,
it's like they say it's like, okay, that wasn't that
it's like, okay,
bad.
first off, it's bad enough that you said that, but
it,
I'm glad you didn't say other things.
well, the sad thing of it, I think we're getting so uh, we're getting left and right comments about sexism that's really like, oh my god, that when we get another sexist comment that's really not like to the level of those other things, we're just like, oh, that's not that bad. Kind of like we got desensitized to it.
Yeah, are we getting desensitized? Is kind of the question. Like this is where we benefit by having like an actual
Yeah, if we
like
had a
woman
woman, yeah,
co-host here to like that at least had those views, because not all women have those views, but like can kind of guide us through this. But we're gonna do the best we can.
we're trying.
Yeah,
I truly say we're trying. So if we're off the mark here, please like let us know. And I do apologize if we
jump in the
are.
comments. We'll
Like
respond.
we're trying not to be. It's just we're trying to navigate what was considered one of the glory days of Star Trek. God, I hate to say that in this context. That I'm saying it. This is
Yeah, the
like
word glory was somehow triggering
it
there in that second.
was. I would probably more so say the infancy the
Yeah.
infancy of the Star Trek days that like created the universe that we know and love. And we do know and understand that there was a lot of sexism, not even just within TOS, but also within TNG, within Voyager,
Yeah, I mean,
somewhat in Deep Space Nine. Like, uh, we do recognize that.
well, I mean, and that's the thing that people don't appreciate with all these isms. Like, they get sick of it and they want to be like, I just won't be politically correct anymore, or whatever they say.
That's true. That's
They,
true.
but they don't recognize it's just an iterative process. Like, we're gonna figure some stuff out. And we're gonna look back on some stuff and be like, oh, that was terrible. We're gonna look back on stuff from now and be like, oh, that was terrible. But we're gonna make progress because it's just gonna get better as
We're
we go along.
human.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, it's our favorite quote.
yeah, exactly.
Like we're human. We're going to make mistakes. Give us that grace. That's pretty much what we're saying. Please give us the grace. We do mean the best with what we're trying to analyze here,
Yeah,
with what we're given. But if we are off the mark, like please let us know. I am not beyond correcting myself.
yeah, exactly. We'll talk about it.
100%.
Um, and Riley starts singing again is the next thing I have written. He does a lot of singing.
He does a lot of
I don't know if
singing.
that's an Irish drunk stereotype is to sing a lot, but he sings a lot.
It's
Uh,
just crazy how like Scotty's trying to go about this, like trying to get back his engineering from
yeah,
this random lieutenant that is like uh, pretty much commandeered his situation, and he's like trying to like, well, I can burn this like hole within this wall, but I got to be careful with how I do it because I can hit certain circuits that like blow me up pretty much.
yeah,
So
but yeah, and we're getting to that. Yeah, because this is where you start to see Kirk kind of starting to crack on the because he's starting to micromanage a bit more
yes,
than he ever was. He's trying to do everything he can to save his ship, which means checking on everything constantly, and it's just like not the most helpful thing to have he has like nothing else to do, I guess, in the situation. So he's just like, well, I'll check in on her. I'll check in on Spock. I'll send Spock to check in on other people, and it's just like all these check-ins. It would be interesting if there was like a plot thread that would probably be a bit more modern and be like, all these check-ins aren't helping. I'm sorry that you have to just kind of sit in the chair and be
hmm
captain, but like everyone else has to go get to work to try to save the day right now.
the best parallel for this one is would be that Strange New World episode that we just had this past season, where the original series cast members from Strange New Worlds doesn't have to be with Kirk
Oh yeah,
on that
yeah,
ship, and he's trying to figure out like how to get through this situation, and they're learning to work with one another,
yeah,
so on and so forth. So that's the most that you see him at this particular situation, which is actually good. It's actually a great parallel.
yeah.
That Strange New Worlds did an episode like that, and I really truly feel like that this is probably one of the episodes that gave them
Oh, most
inspirations
definitely.
to do something like this because it's showing like a natural progression with Kirk. Kirk was not like originally like the greatest captain of all time. Like there was a progression there.
Yeah,
He went through some things to get to this point. So, and that's what Strange New Worlds is showing that he's getting to this point. With this being episode 5 within the series, well, technically, what episode 3, really? If not, I'm
so we
thinking
got one
about
that
it.
didn't air. One was the
Oh,
first episode that aired,
yeah.
and
So,
then yeah,
yeah,
three.
episode 3.
But no, four. Because we
We're on
had
episode 5 right now,
Mantrap,
which is the one that didn't air.
and then Where No Man's Gone Before. You got Charlie X in there somewhere.
Charlie X was the first pilot, right?
No, The
No,
Cage was the
the
first
cage.
pilot, but that didn't air.
No. The original. See, this is where it gets confusing as Treks fan. The one that actually aired
The pilot
pilot,
that actually aired was Where No Man Goes
where no
Before,
one goes
which
before.
was after the Mantrap and Charlie X.
Yes.
And then we got Where No Man Goes Before. Then we got this episode.
Oh, so this is the second one. That's what
The
Charlie
second of
X.
what? What are you
Didn't
talking
Char-
about?
No, but when did Charlie X?
Charlie X aired before Where No Man Goes Before. Charlie X is the one
You're
where he
right. You
didn't
said
understand
there were
consent.
two pilots.
Yeah.
You're right.
The pilots are The Cage and Where No Man Goes Before.
Okay, this is where it gets confusing. This is exactly where it
This is
gets
where all
confusing.
the alcohol we've been drinking is starting to work against us. If
Because like when did Charlie X air in
after the man trap.
after the Man Trap never aired though.
No, the cage never aired.
The Cage. Damn it. You're right. You're right.
I'll be so glad when we're past
Oh,
far enough along where we don't have to talk
I
about
I
the
guess this is
origins
what
of
I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to lock in. What was originally episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode
Originally,
4?
episode 1 was the man trap.
Man Trap.
Episode 2 was Charlie X. Episode 3 was Where No
No
Man
Man
Goes
Go
Before.
Before.
Episode 4 was The Naked Time. Well, that sounded weird. Don't clip that.
Oh,
Don't clip
I am
that.
100% clipping that. What are you talking about?
I can't help what they named it. So those are the first 4 episodes to air.
I'm just gonna put you in a position to actually be able to name the title of this episode, and it's just not me.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so this is canonically the 4th episode that aired
Yes.
in in our lifetime. Well,
Yes.
not in our
This is
lifetime.
the fourth
In
episode to
reality.
air on TV.
Yes. So the way that I'm looking at this is Kirk is still new in his captaincy.
Well, I don't know if we've established that.
How long he's been captain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the third episode, Where No Man Has Gone Before, would make it seem like that was further back in time than what we're watching now.
That's true.
Without actually
Yeah.
saying so. So
Almost like a year's
Yeah.
worth. But it's still showing like he still has a lot to learn though.
yeah, exactly.
Especially within this situation because he's getting agitated. He's micromanaging. He's like, and he hasn't he hasn't even been infected with
Virus
the
yet,
virus
yeah.
yet. So, and he's acting like this.
Yeah. Let's see. So he sends Spock to go check in on Scotty and Bones. Not in that order, in reverse order. Yeoman Rand is being harassed as usual by someone in the hallway that's gotten
Oh
drunk.
gosh.
Yeah, I hated for her so much. She can't even get to the bridge. She's trying to get to the bridge to do her job, and like I can't get there because
I feel like
everyone's drunk and harassing me.
I feel like the only reason for her character is for people to catcall her.
It sucks, and it gets worse because like Kirk like almost does it at the end of the episode, but like gets a hold of himself. So I don't know.
Well, I'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll talk about it when you get to that point.
Spock and Scotty have a conversation, and Spock kind of lets him know like, hey, you can't be safe in what you're doing. You need to just go as fast as possible, even if you blow up everything. Like that won't matter because the whole ship's gonna blow up at the speed that you're going at.
I do want to point out something before this particular thing about Yeoman.
Okay.
The Yeoman. Kirk did order her to take one of the stations. I can't remember if that was the navigation station or the actual con station when she was on the bridge, which actually indicates that she knows how to work those stations.
I don't think we've gotten to that part yet, but
I had it. I had it in my notes within uh, the situation. Let's see here. Like Yeoman takes the helm, but that's after um, Scotty was going through the whole thing of like attaching those magnets.
oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a minute ago. That's why I would like jump back. So I was like there was a point where the Yeoman was like,
No, that's
say,
good.
hey, like take one of these stations. I do want to point that out because it's like showing like the way people would like look at her would be like, oh, you're a glorified like secretary in a way, and like I wanted to point that out. It's just like no, like that's the position that she's in currently, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't know how to. Hell, we don't know if she like has like engineering spirit within her where she knows like engineering like the back of her hand,
Yeah.
or so on and so forth.
And of
So,
course, she's in that Voyager episode later on. She's like fully
Yes.
manning some station. So
Yes.
like, she's got skill. It's just So far, she's only just been harassed.
Yes.
Um, let's see. So Scotty has to go fast. Maybe he did talk to Scotty and then Bones. Um, no, okay, no. Scotty has to go faster, so he checks in on Scotty first, and then he goes and checks in on
Yeah.
Bones. Bones calls in and is like, "I'm not getting the labs I need, so I gotta go do it myself."
Hmm.
Chapel is acting a little bit weird, but Sulu's starting to come to, so they're continuing to observe Sulu. Um, Kirk is getting frustrated to the point that he actually like kind of pushes her too far, and she totally snaps on him.
Oh, her snaps back.
Yeah, which was good. And Kirk actually
He
apologizes in
does
the moment.
apologize to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, "Sorry, yeah, that actually was." Because he's like, "Can you get him to? Can you cut this off?" And she looks at him and goes, "If I could get him to be quiet, I would totally do that." And she goes, "Wait, let me not get fired."
I think in this is one of those situations where it's like, uh, they wanted to establish like their level of commonality with one another. Like and this is where Strange New Worlds comes into play, where we know that like they did know each other prior to here,
Hmm.
so you know that they were actually cool and close well before uh, he became the captain of the Enterprise and she was under his command and
Yeah.
whatnot. So it's one of those situations where it's like it would be like you being on the bridge with me and you popped off at me and I just like look at you. Like you can pop off at me, but you're doing it in the presence of other people. So it's like a she was like, oh crap.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like she didn't necessarily say I'm sorry, but like the look on her face was just like, oh crap. Okay, like I
Well,
didn't mean to be like that.
she stopped saying what she's saying, and then she goes, "Yes, sir, I'll work on it."
Yes, sir, I work
And
on
then
it.
at that point,
Yes.
he kind of goes, "Oh yeah, I was
He
being a bit of
recognized it.
a yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
He
sorry."
recognized like
Because
for the sake not only for command, but also for the sake of like our friendship after this, I need to apologize. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Like I was bugging. That is my bad.
I'll say it's we're an hour and 46 minutes in, which I usually can't see, but I don't want to get into our whole leadership conversation. You guys can listen to past episodes. We've gotten into
Hmm.
a bunch of leadership conversations, but it also just goes to show that when you're in command, when you're at the top of the thing, at some point,
You
just
have to soften
reiterating.
yourself.
Well, you have to, but at some point, all you can do is just tell the folks what to do, and they gotta go do it. Like you are done
Yes.
doing stuff.
Yes. You have to like put your
Yeah,
faith that they will do
yeah.
what's necessary to be
Even
done.
if it's a critical situation, and you
Yes.
want everything done right now. Just saying you want everything done right now
Yes.
over and over again is just not helpful. You just need to sit down, be quiet, go to your office, and I
All
don't know,
facts.
uh, look at a Wrigley's Pleasure Planet tape or whatever. Whatever you do to get through the day, don't do that. That's totally not right.
And we know what's in Captain Patrick's.
The entertainment tapes.
We know what's in his quarters in the secret stash area. Wrigley's Pleasure Planet, Volume One,
Volume 1.
Volume Two, Volume Three.
Oh, this episode's called The Naked Time as well. No, sorry.
Oh wow!
uh, so Spock is looking for Bones and he encounters Chapel. In there are two scenes that are coming up that are totally recontextualized
this
because of Strange New Worlds.
this part right here, like I completely love.
Yeah,
Like if there's anything that like really made the episode more of a higher rating for me,
yeah,
it was these scenes right here that we're about to go into.
yeah. Because essentially, like in a interesting because she wouldn't act this way if she wasn't sick.
Yes.
But
Yes.
in a moment of empowerment, she approaches Spock, and the point is to
Hmm.
infect him. So like, she touches him as well, and it infects him, and like professes her love, and they kind of have a heart to heart and talk about how it can't be, and
Yes.
like
Yes.
all this stuff. And after watching Strange New Worlds, you're like, oh holy snap, this
This
must have
totally
really,
tracks.
yeah, this must have really like dug deep into Spock and into Chapel
Yes.
to like have to relive the whole thing
Yes.
in this instance as a virus that's dropping your inhibitions like takes control. It's like wow, this is brutal.
it,
This
it
is a
it was
brutal scene now.
it was so smart of the Strange New World showrunners and writers that they would decide to use this material to uh, to correlate the relationship that happened between Spock and Nurse Chapel. And like, granted, like, yeah, there was some verbiage within the scene that made it seem like this is the first time she's like confessing her love or feelings for him. But I feel like they
And it
did
kind of
that
would be actually when you think about how their
technically. Yes,
yeah
yes,
their relationship would like played out.
and that, but that goes back to how like, and this is one of my main issues that I have with movies that are like were books or comics or movies that were once video games or something like that. It's just like y'all have so much source material that y'all can glean from. That's
Yeah,
already great. That made this like such a great storyline. Use that source material. Like, look at how they reacted within the situation. If you're doing a prequel, like, can you like bridge that to show how we got to this point?
yeah,
To like show it there wasn't like a knee jerk reaction, like, oh, all of a sudden they love each other.
yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's what they did with Strange New Worlds. They bridged that. So when you get
Like
to
it,
this point, it's like, oh, this scene is totally believable.
yeah, which a good great prequel does. And so yeah, like and also it was a kind of scene like it was almost futuristic in the sense that I could see
Mm-hmm.
the actor that plays Spock now and the actor that plays
Nurse Chapel.
Nurse Chapel now. I just am spacing on her
I
name.
was based on there too.
Yeah, I could see them both recreating the scene and it basically have like the
The
same.
same undertones and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. Oh, I would completely love
yeah,
this. I would.
it,
I don't know if they would ever decide to do a Kirk, more of a Kirk like young Captain Years
yeah,
type um, episodes leading into the original series, but I would love for them to do that, have like a few seasons, and then leading up to in the last season having like this be one of those episodes,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
recreation of this episode and
yeah,
expanding upon it.
yeah. It would be cool, but I mean, it hits Spock so hard and his inhibitions are dropping that he starts crying. Cut to
I,
oh, go ahead.
I oh, what scene are you about to go into?
Well, it goes to engineering next.
Um, the and I granted I can't remember if this was around this time or if it's like later, but like the range of emotions that Leonard Nimoy
It's later.
shows with this character. Okay,
Yeah.
then we'll come back to that.
Okay. Scotty gets the door open without blowing himself up. Thank goodness. And Kirk charges in with a couple of security people, and they take back engineering. And now here you go.
No one gets on alive.
No one gets out alive.
I want to point this out.
He basically points a phaser at Riley, and he's like, "I guess we're not gonna have any dances." And Kirk a little over aggressively picks him up and throws him out of
Kirk,
engineering, like
Kirk,
like
Kirk.
Jazzy Jeff in the Fresh Prince.
Yes, that's exactly what he wants to do with Riley.
Yeah.
Like, ah!
Even though Riley is sick, he has a virus, he has a
It
disease.
doesn't matter.
Kirk is had enough.
I would tell Riley after all this is over with, like, look, I know I got overzealous, but like, dude, you're really pissing me off. I
Yeah.
don't like you're
Also, the ship's gonna blow up in 10 minutes. They're really on the clock right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
And here we go. Spock stumbles into briefing room 2, and he starts crying. He starts losing it. He's
hmm
trying to retain control, remind himself of his duty. He's really like struggling to lose it. And I put in parentheses, we learn more about Spock in this scene than in all of the exposition they've done in him
man,
and like the 3 pilots or whatever
man.
we've
This
been like we actually get it now.
this scene was probably one of the greatest scenes that they could have put in an earlier Star Trek
Hmm.
episode just to show. And they did make a point to point out that he was half Vulcan, half human. I don't think they really like touched on that in previous
Yeah, they didn't mention
episodes.
that.
They
Yeah,
did. Okay.
but of course,
So
Nurse Chapel knows that about him.
but they wanted to, of course, but they wanted to let the audience know he's half Vulcan, half human. So the Vulcan side is the side that he's suppressing the emotion, but he also has his human side. So this scene,
Well, and also Vulcans use logic to control stronger
short
emotions
verses,
than
yes,
humans have.
yes, yes.
So he's like in a glass
But
case of
what we
emotion.
don't know that at this time, though, as an audience,
Well, yeah,
canonically,
yeah, I guess not. They haven't said it, and this is
exactly.
if they haven't said it yet, then. But we know this as viewers now, along
But
with all the.
but we see this what like 3 episodes leading up to this one that he has like suppressed.
Yeah,
You could tell that he does suppress his emotions, even though he came out with the Glock in the last episode and with a do rag
Lieutenant Commander
with a black and
Tupac.
mild and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, he didn't have all that, but still, like this is my posse. This is my posse. The Vulcans live long and prosper.
Yeah, he was gonna cap Gary Mitchell as
Oh man,
soon as he had her.
Gary was getting it. All right, eye for an eye, man. Gary was getting it. But like to see him break down on the range of emotion that he went through within this, he went from anger, he went from sorrow, he went from sadness to happiness to laughing. Like he went through all these ranges of emotions within this one
Mm-hmm.
scene, and it was like I had no notes. I had no notes for this scene. This is probably one of those more powerful scenes in Star Trek fandom that isn't talked about enough.
Well, much like in the Naked Now, they use the guise of lowering the inhibitions to give you true character moments about
Mm-hmm.
most of the people that get at least the people that get this like Scotty doesn't get it and Uhura doesn't get it, so we don't like learn as much about them. But they're just like, here's some instance of the core of these people, maybe a bit exaggerated because of the intoxication, but
Yeah,
like it's like yeah, he's half human, half Vulcan. He's got emotions, but he's like trying to control them. Like they couldn't have done it any better, in my opinion. Let's see. Once again, it scrolled down to the. Oh, here we go. So after he's doing all that, that's how I'm gonna describe it as all that.
that's all that.
Scotty explains that that Riley cut the engines totally off, and they're gonna need 30 minutes to refire them. And he can't change the laws of physics. He's got to have 30 minutes. Um, and Kirk,
Great time clock.
yeah, exactly. 30 minutes is more than 20 minutes,
Yes,
which is what we
which was
had
like what 10 minutes
10
ago.
minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes ago. So we're screwed. And Kirk is like, we got to find Spock because we're probably going to have to do something aggressively dangerous. That's probably what he's
Well,
thinking, but that's not what he
no,
says.
he's thinking to himself, there's got to be a way,
Yeah,
and Scotty is like, the equations don't match up, da 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 da, and like, obviously when you talk about like equations and stuff, like the first person you think of is Spock.
yeah,
If there's anyone that can think of a way to cold start this to where we don't blow ourselves up, Spock can do this.
yeah. I mean, we see him do it on Strange New Worlds, and we've actually seen Scotty do this. I think in the season premiere where he did something where he's like, the ship might blow up if we do this, but it was much more of an engineering. I can't remember. It was
Oh,
in
that's gonna make me rewatch that now.
yeah, Hegemony Part Two, I think. Meanwhile,
Oh, is
Bones
that the
is
one we was trying to figure out how to like pronounce it, and we kept hitting like
yeah,
Google
exactly.
to like tell us how to hegemony, and I still mispronounced it after.
Yeah, right off the bat, I was like, that was impressive because we talked for a while about how to pronounce it. In the meantime, Bones has found the cure, but he can't get more of it made. To his frustration, because people are drunk. Like that's it. Like he has to go do it himself, essentially,
Basically,
which really frustrates him.
fine. He Thanos did at that point. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Kirk has found Spock, and Spock starts talking about his mom, how he can't share emotions with folks. Talks about his father. Kirk is pretty justifiably tunnel focused on not letting the ship blow up.
So
So
I am wondering in the situation if the audience is meant to pick up like from Charlie X, where he talks about uh, a I don't understand how a uh, he needs to say relative, like he just pretty much like a descendant of Vulcan, like married a human woman or whatnot. And then in this episode, they talk about like he is half human and half Vulcan. So I don't know if like this was made for the audience to pick up, like, oh, he was talking about himself in this situation. And I don't know.
I don't think they were because honestly, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like that's a great
Like,
connection because I am like, holy
I
what?
think it was. I think it was Charlie. It was one of the previous episodes that we just did, at least the past two, within the past two, that he did. He pointed out that he was like not he, but I can't believe that a descendant of mine actually like married a human woman. So technically, he wasn't lying, but he wasn't like saying that he was half human. So
Okay. Yep.
yeah.
I missed that, but I if I could remember it, I would help. I would probably agree with
I
the connection, but I can't remember it.
I feel like this is one of we'll add this as like a recap touch point
Okay.
for the end of the season,
Yeah.
where it's just like, okay, what did we miss? What do we need to like?
Yeah. Jot that down because
Yeah,
because I can't. I totally missed that. Especially if it's in the Charlie X episode where I was just uncomfortable the whole time because he doesn't understand consent and no one wants to explain it to him. Like
hmm
I definitely could have just sped by it. But I won't disagree with you that based on what you're describing, it sounds like a very solid connection, if that makes sense.
yeah, got it.
Um, so Spock is basically talking about how he wishes he could show more emotion to the folk, like more emotion towards Kirk, more emotion
hmm
towards his mom, the people that he cares about the most. Kirk, understandably, is trying to get these engines turned back on so everyone
Yes,
doesn't blow up,
yes.
and just slaps the ever loving it out of Spock,
As much as he could,
as with
as much as
everything
he
he could
could to a
muster,
Vulcan.
and not
Like,
just once.
yes, he does this countless times.
Yeah.
Front hand, backhand, front hand, backhand, front hand. Like,
He needs him to figure out the cold start, and eventually Spock gets upset at this and just backhands Kirk across the table one time,
and
draws blood.
keep in
Like,
mind, Spock has not drawn blood.
yeah, Spock is not bleeding. Kirk is bleeding now because it only takes one good time from Spock for you
Oh,
to
and McCoy stated earlier in the episode that he has green blood,
that
not
he has
red
green.
blood. That's the first time they like stated that. I at least have to point that
They
out.
also mentioned his heart rate was 242, which is wow. Like
I would imagine like the Vulcan's resting heart rate is like way
yeah, I guess it's way higher.
better
Yeah. Well, I
because
mean, but for us, it's lower. If you have a lower resting heart rate, you're good. So for that to be
yeah.
like, they're like kind of like very healthy heart rate, I'm like, oh wow. Because of the backhand, Kirk gets infected, which is the most disrespectful way to get
That
infected
is
by
the
this thing.
most. I did not pick up on the fact that that's how he got infected.
He got backhanded across the table. They played the little sound effect. He falls over the
oh,
table in the conference chairs
oh,
and is bleeding from the mouth. And when he gets up, they play the sound effect that said he got infected. I'm like, dang, that's gangster right there.
it is. That is.
Ended acts pretty quickly on him. He starts talking about the Enterprise, his love for his ship, and then he starts talking about Rand in a way that's a bit, you know, like if he wasn't the captain, he might be able to pursue Rand, but because he's the captain, he doesn't do it. So yeah,
I think this is one of those situations where he's like showing that he isn't infallible.
which no one is. Yeah,
Basically, it's like because you see within the previous episodes of how he is around Yeoman,
right.
and he's like you can always kind of tell that he's uncomfortable
Yeah,
around her. So this episode was just like showing like this is why he considers her attractive,
Yeah,
and as the captain, he's trying to maintain a certain level of decorum
yeah.
and not use his power as captain over her or anything within that way that would suggest that he is like trying to load his powers over her. So it's a way of showing like I'm being trying to control this, but since I'm intoxicated with this disease,
Yeah,
my inhibitions are lowered.
yeah.
Kind of like when you've been drinking, you finally like tell that girl you've been liking her.
Do it respectfully, gentlemen, though.
Of course. Of,
Yep. Um, so basically, the all the slapping works, and Spock figures out how to cold start the engine without potentially blowing everyone up. But we do realize that Kirk's not an angry drunk; he's a emotional drunk.
he's an emotional drop, one hundred
Yeah.
percent.
So he starts talking about stuff, um, and then Scotty shows up in the middle of all this, kind of probably not even really understanding what's going on. And Spock says he's going to call out the formula for the bridge, which he eventually doesn't do, because I think Kirk essentially does order general quarters, but he's like trying to super focus and be like,
Yeah, yeah,
I think he does tell them to go to engineering to turn on the engine,
yes,
clear the hallways and the turbo lifts, and then he's going to go take a man on the bridge. Like I think that's the plan they hatch. It's just not really written out very clearly
yes.
that that's what they're going to do.
It's his way of trying to like control himself and like this like please catch on to what I am saying right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be as clear as possible as I can be right
yeah.
now.
As this disease is letting me be.
Yeah.
Um, so on the bridge, Sulu is back in action because I think maybe I missed mentioning that he was the first one to receive the cure. That's how we
Yeah.
know that Bones cured him because Sulu hilariously is coming clear and he's like, "Whoa, what happened? I'm on the bridge," but doesn't ask what happened to his shirt.
And his shirt is off, but he doesn't say anything.
He doesn't care.
Like this is normal.
He's
This is
like,
normal.
Whatever. I work out. It's
I
fine."
am normally in sick bay with my shirt off.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Sulu's back working, and as soon as Kirk steps on the bridge, Bones rips his shirt because his shirt needs to be
I
ripped.
oh my god. Okay, so we have those situations in episodes that we're just like, what the hell is this? This is the first time within this whole episode that I was just like, what the hell is like? Is there something within William Shatner's contract that's like at least once per episode he has to show some level of skin?
Yeah. Also, how do you just rip someone's shirt like that?
He did it easily too.
Yeah, he was just
He's
like,
an old man, by the way. Well, comparatively so to Kirk, he is older.
mm-hmm.
So, like, your level of strength is like rip,
Yeah,
and it's
just tears away, and then he hyposprays him, which
oh, this
every
this is the first episode where they say call it a hypo spray. What they
oh yeah, you
they
mentioned
didn't
that.
call it hypo spray. They called it hypo.
Yeah,
Yes.
and every other time we see this in Star Trek, you just get hypo through the shirt, but this time it's
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna
I
rip your
I,
shirt.
I think G. Roddenberry by TNG was just like, I feel like the hypo sprays would be good enough to just go through clothing.
Yeah, it's probably
So
not
we
that
don't
big
have
of a
to
deal.
rip
Yeah,
the clothing and fix this. Like our design team doesn't have to fix this for the actor for the next time or whatnot.
you're right.
Like,
So he cures Kirk, and Kirk, I think, probably in the afterglow of it, sees Rand and is like kind of thinking about telling her some stuff inappropriate, but gets control of himself. Um, Spock and Scotty restart the engines, and then, as I noted, something happens, and they all live.
you say something happens. It's a cold start. They basically do a 30-minute cold start within, I guess, what, like 8 minutes or something like that.
Or less. I mean, we get
Or less.
under 6 minutes, so they do a cold start, probably with like 2 or 3 minutes left
So
before.
their terminology with this is that because earlier in the episode you had Scotty that said I can't break the laws of physics.
Right.
So technically, In this situation, they broke the laws of physics, and this is the consequence of said law that they just broke.
Is that just something? No, no, no. Okay, so I got the next thing I think you're about to that you're actually referring to. So let me.
Okay.
So basically, what I'm saying is, in the immediate aftermath, something happened. Like the screen changes, they warp out. I'm like, I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Okay.
Spock gets back to the bridge, and they realize that they've entered a time warp, and
Yes,
they're
because
going
Sulu
back
looks
in
at his
time.
he looks at his chronometer,
Yeah,
which is like the relative time that the ship is in comparative to what their last reported time dilation was.
yeah,
So, and the only reason why I know this is because of like future Star Trek. Like, if I was just watching this and this was the only episodes that I've seen, wouldn't have zero clue how to explain this.
yeah. Okay, got it. So they go back 3 days in the past almost, and then they
Yes,
just kind of move on from there, which it's late in the episode and it's also getting late at night, so I'm not going to open up why I can't understand what just happened. I mean, from a time travel perspective, and when we do our time travel makes
I
no
feel
sense
like
episode, we
we
need
will
to,
have to like talk about this during the time travel.
yeah,
Makes no, absolutely
because
no
I mean,
sense.
the whole thing is like, so are there two enterprises now? Did they create a branch time? Like all this stuff is
Yes,
getting,
there's a lot of questions to
yeah, as
answer.
to what just happened. They kind of just move on, and Kirk makes a remark where Spock's like, "Wow, we just like invented something that is really applicable," and he's like, "Well, we might return to it someday." And in my mind, I'm like,
Foreshadow.
in my mind, I was immediately like, "There be whales on this ship, Captain."
Well, they
I'm
actually
like,
used it before then.
they do as well, but that was the
Yeah,
most notable thing
yeah,
I
that's
could
the
think
most
of.
notable one that we can think of. Yeah.
And roll credits.
So there's a lot of things within this episode that did a good job of like paralleling, or should I say, TNG did a good job of paralleling their episode
Mm-hmm.
to this one, and this made I had a lot of fun with this uh, episode. I might add,
Yeah.
just because of like I know how the TNG side of this with the Naked Now uh, episode was, and then just doing like how Strange New Worlds is depicting Spock, how Strange New Worlds is depicting some of these characters, and how I could tell that the cast, the showrunners and the writers of Strange New Worlds paid attention to these original episodes in order to shape the characters that
Mm-hmm.
they currently are within that timeline.
Right.
So there was that. There was also like certain things that we'd be remiss to point out that the Naked Now was a little bit more hornier.
Yeah, we mentioned that a little while ago, but yeah, this one when they referred to what was going on the ship, it was a lot of bar fights.
It was a lot of yeah, yes,
Yeah, in this episode, and there was that guy with the weird red paint brush that was like writing weird
weird
stuff on the
side,
wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, by the time we got to the 80s, they were like, yeah, if this happened, then we just gonna be getting it on.
And but they're like okay, there are certain scenes within the TNG, the Naked Now, that I would be remiss to point out. Like one of my favorite scenes with the one with Beverly Crusher and Captain Picard,
Right.
where they were talking to one another. Like we did have like a quick clip on
Mm-hmm.
that one that we wanted to at least play.
Oh, you still got muted.
Yeah.
Do you know what the infection is? Come on, quickly.
Sorry. It is definitely like alcohol intoxication. The same lack of good judgment. For example, right now, I find you extremely, extremely. Of course, we haven't time for that sort of thing.
What sort of thing?
Oh, God, would I love to show you.
Doctor, there must be a cure, some formula. Similar to the old one.
Damn it, Captain.
For this to be a season 1 episode, like it's such a close episode to the pilot.
Right.
Like it was crazy to see that. Oh, we're going to do this whole shipping of Picard and Crusher this early on.
Yeah.
And establish this and like then show the like layers of complexity with their relationship and how they probably should be together, how they shouldn't be together, so on and so on and so forth. But like the complete like destruction of their inhibitions in the scene, and Beverly is just like, I would do some things to you that you would truly love.
Yeah.
And Captain Picard's like, I.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And it's kind of funny because I think after that conversation, when he waves goodbye to her, Worf sees Captain Picard do this, and
the Toodaloo, like.
yeah, and he calls Commander Riker, and he's like, "Yeah, I think the captain's been infected. I think it's a wrap for the captain."
Good call on Worf there to point this out. Like, oh no, the captain is drunk.
Yeah,
The captain is drunk right now. Riker, we're kind of effed at this moment.
yep.
That was, but as far as the Naked Down, like that was one of my favorite scenes, and of course, you pointed out another scene that you was like, oh, we would be remiss to not point this out.
We didn't play this already.
With the scene between Data and
yeah, we played this already.
I don't remember that we don't. I don't think we played this. We played this during the sound test to make sure that it was that it was available, but we didn't do it through the actual broadcast. Because I'm really doing this in the point to show out like how different the Naked Time was versus the Naked Now, which is crazy because I feel like the Naked Time should be more on this level than the Naked Now.
Yeah, I think that's why it's all conflating, because it's like, yeah, I would expect the one from the 60s to be like the really like things got really weird kind of thing, whereas the one from the 80s was the one that got weirder in multiple ways because there were a lot of shipping going on.
Yes.
In the 1980s one, where there was not as much shipping going on, and the two main ships that happen is a storyline that goes nowhere between Kirk and Rand, and a storyline that gets developed more in a future prequel that to where it makes much more sense as to why Spock is like freaking out about like what Chapel is saying to him. Whereas like what you're about to play is like just one of like 3 or 4 ships that's going on in here.
Yes.
And then in the midst of a bunch of random hookups that are going on.
And so comparatively, so what happened on TOS was so tame.
Yeah.
Compared to what happened on TNG, but that could also be contributed to the level of broadcasting rules during that time versus the 80s, the late 80s when that was shot. So,
and TNG was in syndication. One was on broadcast. Like maybe
true.
there was like different stuff going on. But like this scene in particular that you're about to play is just like the most enduring scene that like every Trekker like references from any of these 2 episodes when they're comparing, because it's just like, wow, this was the most straightforward, this is what the episode is about thing that
and this is the episode between Data and Lieutenant Commander Tasha Yar.
Lieutenant Yar.
Well, Lieutenant Yar, excuse me. I promoted her too soon. Sorry, Harry.
What I want now is gentleness, and joy, and love. From you, Data, you are fully functional, aren't you?
Of course, but...
How fully?
In every way, of course. I am programmed in multiple techniques. A broad variety of pleasuring.
Oh, you jewel. That's exactly what I hoped.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about the scene, I think I pointed this out to you, was that
Right.
Data had no true full context of what she could have been talking about. But as soon as she started going that direction, he knew exactly what she was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, like, it's hard to totally understand how Data has been affected by the disease here.
Yes.
Like, he explains it at some point, and it's like the nutrients in the lubrication in his. Well, that was a terrible
That's the part
word
that
to bring
made
up.
absolutely no sense for me.
Yeah, but they were basically like, he gets drunk. He has a
But
blood, and it gets drunk if you according to this disease, it knows how to do it.
and knowing the arc of Data, you look at this and just like, okay, you kind of will just allow this particular
That's
scene
basically
to
it.
like that. It does a good job with like helping him like
You paused on like
grow.
the giant excited smile that Denise Cosby chooses to give Yar in this moment,
don't,
and
don't
it's just
don't pay attention to that.
hilarious.
Don't pay attention to that. Let me go ahead and close that. Like you're paying attention.
But yeah, both episodes are about if your inhibitions drop, what's but like not that you don't bring an authentic version of yourself around the people that
Hmm.
you work with and are counting on you, but like what happens if there's like even more to it? And it gives them like an
Yeah.
interesting device to explore the true motives and what's driving the characters that is hard to bring out in like you'd have to build like whole episodes around getting to uh even Data even knowing how to do those things, right? You'd
Yes.
have to build like a whole
Yes.
hour into that. Or you can just get everyone drunk.
And make a scene.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
make a scene on it. And they were like, "Oh, Data's closer to
Yes.
human than we even thought." And Spock has complicated emotions about who he's being
Yes.
around. And Kirk loves the ship, but also might, be challenged by loving other people. And it's like you can get to it so much quicker if you're just like, okay, I can take the top layer of who they feel like they need to be
Yes.
to
Hmm.
others off, and
Hmm.
just get to what's in between in an atmosphere where like in the next episode we can all just forget about it because it's like, oh yeah, you were sick, I was sick,
Yeah. Whatever. It
yeah,
happened. Let's move on. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that's the. I feel like there's some class in that in Starfleet Academy that like teaches you to move on from situations after they occur because
Well,
that's just gonna happen in Starfleet.
I think even though like for us getting intoxicated is like and for human like people, I'm saying not just
Hmm.
us, but like getting intoxicated is like a byproduct of our choices. There's even still a sense of like, okay, well, it's because you've drank too much that you're telling me this core piece of your being. And
Yeah,
when you show up tomorrow, I'll know that you have that motivation, but I'm not going to like treat you
put
any
any
different.
stock in that right
Yeah,
now. Yes.
exactly. Yeah. Like, I think we just know that as people to be like, okay, well, we'll move on.
Well, I have to. I will have to say that this is the first episode that we came across where I like thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the pacing was great. The character development was great. The situation that they were in was one of those things that you like really gravitated towards. So, uh, with everything that's been said, like, what rating would you really give this?
Yeah, I'm going back and forth between a synthahol required and no synthahol required. It's up on that end of the scale. The only
Hmm.
thing that drags it back towards a synthahol required um, rating is the time warp at the end. Like, even though you explained it and I get it now,
Yes.
I'm kind of like, okay, that was weird. And they kind of got a little bit slow into how the disease like
Yeah.
moves between people, and how fast it's going to hit you and all that stuff. Um, but at the same time, the only other one that I said was synthahol required was that hasn't gone below that was the cage, and so I'm kind of like I feel like this was better than the cage though,
Hmm.
and so
Hmm.
I'm just kind of
Hmm.
like I think I'm just gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and do no synthahol required. you could just watch this episode
Mm-hmm.
um, stone sober and enjoy it, which is crazy about an episode where everybody gets drunk.
Yes. This is great.
Like you might want to like have a drink just to be in the same vibe as everyone, but like I think I might go ahead and say that there's no synthahol required um and go there. It was really this really like you said felt like the first like Star Trek episode where I'm like watching a Star Trek
Yes.
one, and there was some
Yes.
stuff that was a little bit off about the
Mm-hmm.
cage that kept it from getting to that level, even though there were parts of the episode where I was like, man, this is a really good Star Trek mystery that we're working on. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the first one that kind of like starts to really bring it all together, and maybe in future episodes I'll be like, well, maybe I shouldn't have given that one a five, not a five, no synthahol required, but
I mean, technically, 5 out of 5. I mean,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
technically what the rating
Yeah,
is.
maybe I'll see other ones that are coming out where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have given it that one, but for now and for always, because I'm never going to come back and change it.
Well, we're 5 episodes in, and we're establishing a basis here,
Yeah,
and we're trying to be as objective as possible, but also at the same time, like understand this was a different era of writing and
yeah.
a different area of broadcasting with totally different
Which
rules
is
and
why the
everything.
top of the scale is no synthahol required,
It,
not
not
10 out of
Yeah,
10
yeah, exactly.
storytelling and things like
And
that.
that's why we came up with this scale for this to
Hmm.
not, because we wanted to at least be fair in rating it, and it's not, and even if we give a episode a blood wine, like you might want to just go ahead. We're not saying like the episode's just like like dog crap,
Yeah,
like you should watch it. We're just saying within what we have watched comparatively so to other episodes of this caliber, this is where we are.
yeah,
And 5 episodes in, this is where we are. I would have to agree with you. This is a no sit the hall required.
yeah.
Like you can enjoy this episode as a Trekkie. Um, and I would say non-Trekkies it will be pretty difficult for, but but I feel like that's all with TOS. But Trekkies, like you look at this and be like, this is like quintessential Star Trek.
Yeah,
This is the first episode that besides the cage, that made me feel truly like this is the formula that they need to go for Star Trek.
yeah.
And I felt like they were catching their stride here. Not to say that there's not going to be any terrible episodes. We know some in the
I know
future
one in particular that I'm waiting on. I don't know how far
that we
away it is,
both
but
are waiting on.
yeah,
But right now, where we are with the fifth episode, fourth episode aired, yeah, no set the hall required. Like, yeah, this is a good time, regardless of whether you like drink something or not.
yep,
This, I don't have any notes for this episode, especially for what it was around the time that it was, and especially the Spock scene that really pushed his character is by far one of my favorite moments now. I'm so glad that I've rewatched this to remember this scene. It's like this is definitely one of my favorite moments in Star Trek.
yeah,
100% one of my favorite moments in Star Trek.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's benefiting from the Strange New Worlds effect. Like
Yes,
that in
yes,
the scene before it is just like, whoa, that could fit well into
yes.
an episode today, and I think it deserves that credit. So yeah,
Season 5, episode 8
yeah.
of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. We should just wrapped up on it. I'm very sad about. Uh,
All, yeah, well, very tricky of me to say. All good things there. So,
I'm having separation anxiety, from when I was a kid, and the original, not the original, the next generation ended.
hmm
Oh, that was such a sad day.
which took them a few tries to get right.
It did. As long as they didn't do a holodeck episode, I wonder what series would even do a holodeck
Yeah, why would you
episode
ever
as
end a series with a holodeck episode? That'd just be
that's would be the
stupid and
dumbest
bad.
thing that you could.
Especially if like you kill off one of the main characters and
Along
in
with
there.
it being a holodeck
Yeah, I
episode.
mean That'd be
No, like don't give them any ideas.
yeah, that'd be
No, they
trash.
might do that with the Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, interesting to see what that's gonna be about. I still haven't
I
figured out. Like Paul Giamatti's gonna be the villain of that show. Not Paul Giamatti himself. He's playing the villain.
Yeah,
The way I first said it,
he's
I
like,
was like,
yeah. He's showing how he fully is in real life. The actor is going to play the villain, and you don't know exactly what that
yeah,
villain's going to look like.
it's gonna be acted well. But I'm just like,
I
interesting. I never even thought about Paul Giamatti being in Star Trek ever
Before
once.
then, I got 3 more episodes of Discovery that I need to just go ahead and just like power through.
Yeah,
I know I'm not gonna like it. I know I'm probably gonna be pissed off in certain areas, but there are areas that you were telling me about that like I'm probably gonna be happy about. So
yeah,
I think I'm just gonna have to power through and get to that before Starfleet Academy comes
yeah.
available in January.
If they just, I think if they just knew that this was going to be their last season, it would have been different in a
Yeah,
positive way. Not that what it is bad. It's just like it's not. This is our last at bat.
it
You know,
wasn't done in
kind
a
of.
way to help them to be able to wrap up the characters the way that
Yeah,
they felt like they could have like gleaned more on. Like kind of how like Strange New Worlds. Like I'm pretty sure they like seeing as how they knew there was gonna be five
yeah,
years, they were able to wrap up
yeah.
story arcs very
Get
well.
people sent off in the right way and
Yeah.
things like that. And I think the ending. I no spoilers. Is an ending after the main story of the season that gets things pretty well wrapped up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can clearly tell it's like something that is like tacked on for the purpose of doing
That's the
that.
part that I've heard about that makes it all more worthwhile. So I'm just gonna have to like power through to get to that.
Yeah,
And I'm not even gonna lie. I just got to a point within Discovery that I was just like, I I I got to a fatigue point where I was like, I understand why certain people don't like this series. However, this series helped us to get Strange New Worlds, which everybody thinks is part of like one of the most critically acclaimed Star Trek. Uh, we got Lower Decks. We got,
it's
I
the
mean, for
first.
better or for worse, Picard. Uh,
It's,
we we got a next level of series for Star Trek because Discovery was a thing,
yeah,
and
and
so
there's a lot of good discovery. I just don't think
yes,
if you set them down at the
yes,
beginning of this season and said this is your last season, all those ideas that you have that are great on the back burner that you're trying to build up to, get them going forward earlier. Like they would have done that versus what we got in this current in the actual last season of it.
and we have a strange track where we talk about Discovery, and we'll go more in depth of like Discovery as a whole as a series, how good it was, what things that it did well, and then like what things that it didn't do well, and like actually touch on those points. And because there's there's nothing wrong with being critical about something you love.
Hmm.
The issue is where you get to a point of criticality where you think that it's either a 1 or it's a 10. There is no in between. Like there is
Hmm.
nuance with a lot of these things, and you have to point out like, okay, this is where it did well, this is what it didn't do well. So like, where would we put this within the pantheon of the other series, other series that's within this
Yeah.
world?
What I'll describe people who don't understand the nuance as uh, I'll describe it as cam warding. If you know what a Tennessee Titans fan perspective is, for you guys who can't understand the difference between a bust and a hit, um, you would be a Discovery fan that can't understand the high points and the low points of it.
Yes, yeah, because
And you're
there
also
are.
probably racist.
I was getting there. There are fanatics that believe that the series or show or whatever universe that they're talking about can do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They are delusional. The series can do wrong. Like things can be pointed out or done in a way that is not tasteful. Da da da. Like to give it that status of it, it is perfect no matter what is asinine.
Yep.
Also, at the same time, there's no point in just like straight looking at a series and being like, oh, it has a black actor lead. Oh, this sucks.
Not
Oh,
my
oh,
Star Trek.
there's a female lead. No, this sucks. Like, dude.
Yep.
Like, there are more people other than the people that you are in this world, in this country. Heck, it probably in just the city that you are in.
Right. Exactly.
So there are other people, there are other races that can uh, embody a character. Just let that happen and like let it be what it is. Like, yeah, there are certain situations of Brendan's character arc that I'm just like, Michael Brennan, excuse me,
Burn
Burnham, that like it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like gritting teeth a bit, but then there's other aspects of her characters. It's like, no, I love that about her. Just like with Picard, just like with Kirk,
Yeah.
just like with Cisco, Janeway, all the above. Like things you're gonna like about them, there's things you're not gonna like about them.
Yeah. I mean, once he started micromanaging me, I would respond exactly the way her did, and probably caught myself before I like went too far with it.
Oh crap! Yeah, I'm talking to Captain.
Yeah, he is the captain on the
Do
bridge.
not let me go. But I thank you all for joining us. Thank you seriously. We are getting closer to the end of the year. We may be able to do one more of these before the new year. We'll see what happens within our
Mm-hmm.
time schedule and everything. But of course, um, we want to end everything with, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. Um, please let us know what we can do better,
Ooh, I wonder who the
what
second
we
person
think
is
that
watching.
we are not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please comment on that. Let us know. And as always, we're going to end the broadcast with our favorite quote from Jean Luc Picard.
It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life.
Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great and wonderful day, evening, night, whatever time you are listening to this. Have a great night.